ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the March 23rd meeting?
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Larry, second by Justin. All in favor? Consent agenda. We need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utility incentives before the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due, permission for clerk to pay attorney bills when due, permission for clerk to pay KMEA dues when due, and permission for clerk to pay CCMFOA dues for Jamie Crable.
So moved.
Moved by David, second by Randy, all in favor? Sheriff report, Troy.
I guess you all have a copy. March 2026. I guess I'll just go through and kind of summarize things. If I skip over anything you want to talk about, bring it up, and that way I can try to do what I can to answer questions. Let's pick out some of the obvious things, the bigger things we did. The attempted break-in that shows there, that one was actually just an open door. It was a neighbor called, was concerned about it, so I went and checked it out, and homeowner just left the door open, so that wasn't really burglary or anything. It really should have been listed as an open door. Domestics this month, and last month it was kind of a hot deal. Only one of them did result in an arrest, the other three did not. That arrest, of course, that offender is already reoffended and he's still in Rollins County. Big things, noise complaints, those were both music and same address. So that was addressed, and so far haven't had any more problems with it. I want to talk about the patrol. It says two of them there. Those were both me. This was a different thing we were doing. We were working with a new dispatcher that night, and this was, so that was Fairgrounds and Recycle Center area. Those are things that we patrol every night, no matter what. We just don't always call them in, so they're not always documented. So they are happening, but you just don't always see that they're there. We don't always call them into dispatch. This is one of those situations where we're teaching him to run these incidents and create them in the system. So that night I ran around and did a lot of different things, and so he was busy doing stuff. But anyway, those patrols, Fairgrounds, Recycle Centers, where the storage units and stuff are, that's stuff we do every day no matter what. We just don't always document them. So I don't know if you guys knew about that or not. Reckless driver call, I believe that was a kid on a dirt bike. I wasn't involved in that one. I don't know if that kid was identified or caught or not, but that was just that one. Report of smoke, that was a burn barrel during a burn ban, so that was one we had to get shut down. The stalking call was, that's a juvenile victim that's still under investigation, so we really can't speak much about it, but that's what that was. Suspicious vehicles, one of them actually wasn't suspicious, the deputy was just confused, and that one actually belonged to the property it was at, but, and, the other one wasn't either. Traffic control, we had one very large oversized load overnight, one night here last month, and so that required some traffic control. The next morning, we had to close the highway down up by Majestic, it was right across the highway. We had to close the highway down for a little bit to get that load back on the road and head out of town. The traffic stops, it says there's 8 of them. 3 of those were me, so I can tell you all about those 3, but 2 of those did result in citations, but they were both district citations for different reasons. The one was speed coming into town. It was a citation. It was earned on the east edge of town. By the time I got him stopped, he was in city limits, so it shows as a city stop, even though it was actually a county violation. And the other one, the next one, of course, it was back to back. I released that one, and here comes another one right through with no taillights on, so that, I'm like, here's a good city stop. So I pull out in on that one right away, got him stopped just outside of town, and found 3 different misdemeanors in that situation, so it ended up being a district situation too. The other, what is that, the other 5 of them, I think 3 of them were Sam and Jonathan, and Jeff both had 1 each. And I don't know the details of those, because those weren't tickets or anything, so. trainings, it shows 6, but when you go back and look those up, there was actually just 3 different trainings. It's just multiple people called them in, so they popped up as multiples. We did a juvenile intake assessment stuff. That what we were all at, so we were all at that big training. And then we did a search and rescue meeting training with the fire department also. And the third one was Narcotics Association convention in Wichita, Sam and I went to, so that actually wasn't even here in town, but the animal calls, so we can break that down. There was 6 of those were dog related, and all of those were either first time offending dogs, or some of them were ones that we never made contact with. So, but there was just quite a bit of dog action, I guess. And that last one, Dan knows all about it, was our cat on a transformer call. So, is there anything on here somebody wants to talk about that I didn't mention? That's just kind of the notes I had taken. It's the hot spots anyway. So,
Appreciate it, Troy.
yep. Anything else? Pretty much all we got to report. The rest of it's kind of little stuff that don't really matter, but it's what we do.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
No problem.
Is there a motion to accept and file the sheriff report?
So,
Moved by David,
second.
second by Larry, all in favor? New business, mayor appointments. Remind me, were we just talking about the committees, or
Yes,
is the,
whether or not you guys wanted to put the additional person or not, that's, I don't know if you and Lila talked about it
we
further.
did, I didn't know if there was anything else. So, per our ordinance, there's 3 members per the different standing committees. And we just have 2 appointed, so we need to either amend our ordinance or appoint somebody to the somebody additional to the standing committees. So, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. That would be streets, parks, and utilities.
Yes,
So there would be
3.
3. I know I looked through, do we have a copy of the?
Oh, you know what, I
appointments?
bet we didn't get that in there, I'm sorry.
Probably easier to just appoint one more instead of amending,
Mm-hmm,
especially with, I'll volunteer for one, whatever.
okay. Well, I don't know, you're on utilities, I do know that much.
I'm on that one.
Yeah. And I don't know, I went through and it seems like Larry had the most appointments, if I remember right.
But I'd go on Parks and Rec or whatever
Okay.
also.
Okay,
You still want for streets?
yeah, do you want streets? Okay. And then we have, utilities, Justin.
What did David say?
He'd go on streets.
Bud had asked to go on streets too.
Yeah, I'd asked, yeah.
How many do we need on streets?
Well, we just need 3, and there's you and I.
If he asked, I would do, yeah.
Okay. Do you wanna do utilities then?
Sure.
Okay, you got that, Jamie?
Yep.
Okay. So, do we want to wait, cause we do the library appointments next meeting, is that
Lila
correct?
said to have them in there for you, I didn't know if you wanted to deal with it now or after, so I went ahead and put it in there, if you guys need to look it
When's it-
over and
When's it change?
do it next time.
It changes in April, but I can't remember if it's the second.
It's
the
four
first or the
twenty-six,
second.
but, yeah.
I have it on the calendar for the 2nd, but
I thought it was.
I have it on the calendar for the 2nd, but I don't know if she just wanted you guys to be able to, like, review it and then decide for next time, or what the reasoning was.
I'll probably wait till the next meeting.
Okay, do you wanna just do
Yeah.
all of the appointments then at that time?
We can if
With
you'd
the-
like,
the-
yeah.
The 3 additional on the standing committees and then.
Okay.
Okay, yep. So it looks like Stella and Sandy are coming off, but then we have, Kevin Lampy and Cheyenne Lind that have volunteered for the library board, so you got that. Okay. The, park renovation committee, they are not coming.
They called this afternoon and said they won't be attending.
Okay. Journey through the Rickery Breaks, Janet, you're up.
All right. So I'm here to talk about a historic and exciting event that St. Francis has an opportunity to host. This event has gotten many heads on it. But anyway, the dates are June 4th through the 7th. And this is how that works. I got a phone call from a friend who works, who does work for the museum at Fort Wallace. And he said that a stagecoach was coming to St. Francis and that its ultimate journey would be across the Rickery Breaks to Beecher Island. And that they wanted to stay in St. Francis, and that would be kind of their headquarters and their taking off point. And a couple of us thought that was pretty exciting, and we sort of just said, let's handle it, you know, which I'm not sure was a smart thing to do or not, but anyway, we are. So 202, the Hart Gallery, the Historical Society, and a couple of other groups and people are helping make this happen. But I got a text a couple of days ago. I didn't think they were going to be here the 4th, but they said they're going to come from West Plains, Missouri to probably Lyons, Kansas, and spend the night there, and then come on here from Lyons probably on the 4th. So we've already made arrangements for them to stay out at the fairgrounds, and that's okay. Carrie is meeting with the fairgrounds board right now. So what, I just need to look here, there's too much to it, I'm sorry. What this group wants to do while they're here in St. Francis is to interact with kids and with adults and with elderly people. They want to go to the village and interact with residents at the nursing home, with people in assisted living, and they are all about lifting people up. So if you're interested in finding a little bit more about this Stagecoach group, I think I sent Amanda and Larry, and David, maybe you, because you're the people whose addresses I had, a little video about the Journey group. A man named Rick Hamby acquired this Stagecoach a number of years ago, and his idea is to just bring history alive for people and to give a great experience that you might not ever otherwise have, because the Stagecoach will be here and people will be allowed to ride it. We'll be out at the fairgrounds, and I don't have the schedule yet as to when things are going to happen, as to when, you know, people in the community will be able to take rides on the Stagecoach. And if you're really game, I think they'd actually let you take a 4-day trip across the breaks too. That trip is going to last from the 7th to the 10th, and they'll be at Beecher Island on the 10th. I just want to be sure. Okay, on the 6th, on the 5th, the crew, there'll be about 20 people on this crew, are just going to chill and probably just enjoy St. Francis. And the reason I just want us all to know about this, because it really is an opportunity for us to put our best foot forward. And some of us are going to go around to businesses and let them know that this is happening, and hopefully we'll have some businesses open on Saturday, because Saturday is the big day when they're going to interact with students, the elderly and just the general community. On the late afternoon, the evening of the 6th, we really want to have a get-together out at the fairground, have food, and let everybody get acquainted with the crew. Also, there's a lot to this. Also in the afternoon, the crew wants to come to 202 and show a video, make a presentation, and just talk to people about their experiences and about what the journey is about. Horseback riders are welcome to follow the stagecoach, and I've already talked to Erica Zimmelman about that, and she's kind of working up what could happen there. It'll be on an individual basis if anyone is a horseback rider and wants to follow along in the breaks, or just follow the group as they go out from St. Francis. Where they're going is probably Road 3, where Brent Ginther has buffalo out there. He has a corral, and they're going to take off from that spot across the breaks. How they're getting from St. Francis to that spot, I don't know, but one of the men that I'm talking to says that might itself take about 5 hours to get from St. Francis out to Road 3. So, you know, you can grab a ride on the stagecoach at that point too. There'll be a schedule, I think, about for people to ride the stagecoach in town, and that's another thing that we don't have figured out there yet. I'm going to back up a little bit. When I first heard about this and was talking to Rick Hamby, who is the owner of the stagecoach, he invited me to be on his radio show about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he wanted to ask questions. He wanted to ask me questions, and one of the questions really kind of stopped me because I didn't know about. He was going to ask me this ahead of time. He said, "What is there in St. Francis? You know, that we can do?" And you know, there's a lot of stuff. So when I came back home, I was having breakfast with Penny Riley, and I said, you know, it'd be so cool if we could just put something in people's hands and say, here's what we have in St. Francis. So Penny, bless her heart, took it upon herself to design a brochure, and I just have a rough draft of it here. And she spent hours on this. In fact, we talked today, we figure she spent at least 20 hours, but that doesn't count the time when your head is thinking about it. And we figure that there's about $1,000 worth of work in that. And she's not charging for that at all. This is a volunteer in-kind gift from her. But if you're interested in having that printed, I don't know, Chris was gonna be here, but I don't know what happened. She was going to see if she could get an estimate from Steve about how much that would cost. So if the city is interested in that, I think that's one thing that would be valuable. Also, Chris worked with her on this. There are two QR codes on the back, which would enable somebody to click on that and find out what updates have happened, you know, since that was printed. So that's one thing I just thought I would give you the opportunity to look at and decide whether you would like, whether there's any guest tax money to pay for something like that. And the other thing I'm asking for is your support in any way that you can help in this event so that St. Francis can really show off, so.
Kenny, when will she have these ready?
Well, I mean, as soon as Steve can print them, but why, David, do you want one?
Well, no, I'm just saying, I know El Jalapeno is supposed to be opening up pretty soon, and I would want to
Yeah,
have her
okay.
include that in there.
Yeah, I mean, she can work on that. I did not know at the time that we did that, we didn't have that information, but that's a good point. And it will be on the QR code. Do we know anything about that?
Couple months, I think.
I think
Okay,
somewhere.
yeah, and it'll maybe about the time the
Yeah.
stagecoach comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can, if could hold off printing them, I guess, you know, cause
Okay.
that would not be a big deal, I don't think, to just change that, cause she's got it on
Add
the
that,
computer.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Something else popped into my head. Oh, I know, because Larry and I talked the other day, we were talking about having food trucks out at the fairgrounds on Saturday, but guess what? That's Rumble on the River, a big golf tournament at Riverside. It's also Pickin' on the Plains in Colby. So that's where a lot of food trucks are gonna be. So, I can't think of his first name, out at Riverside said maybe he could have the lemonade truck there if he could find a couple of people to operate it for him. But I talked to someone else who might help with food that night besides the food truck, so. So anyway, that's a really popular weekend, and also Sherry told me that that's the Lions Club Talent Show on the sixth. So, there's a lot going on. Plus, that's the weekend, there's gonna be a torrential downpour.
There you
Just
go.
schedule it
This is
sooner.
this is northwest Kansas, it'll be 1/10 of an inch.
I don't know. I was talking to Nancy Wilford a couple of years, you know, they had an event out there with, at Riverside. And, they had musical groups and a bouncy house. And one night that bouncy house really went bouncing off because that was, those, yeah.
For your food trucks, maybe might look into a chuck wagon thing and fit in with the stagecoach.
Well, yes, I have talked to a Chuck Wagon. But the thing about it is, once this, stagecoach leaves, Beecher Island, it's going to go down to Fort Wallace and a little bit beyond there, by the river to a place called Pond Creek, which was the original Fort Wallace, location. And that's where the Chuck Wagon guy will be. They beat us to it, but anyway, he's out of Lamar or someplace like that, I think, yeah.
Well, I know
so,
there is one out of there,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dunlop, yeah.
Have you checked at all with any classes or anything?
Not yet, Larry, but I haven't, yeah.
I'll touch base with Terry and see who she might be able to get you in contact with.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, any input you have is welcome, because this is, you know, just a pretty, big deal, I think, you know.
Didn't you say that they're gonna actually take some old ruts and
Well, who knows whether they're old cattle trails or old, yeah, they're across there about where Brent has his, has the buffalo, is the trail that Tobe Swigert marked off, that was the trail that the Indians who were camped at Cherry Creek took to go off up and attack Julesburg.
Hmm.
So, and there's a great big, disc sign, I think, that Tobe put up there that talks about that. That would have been in 1865, but it goes off, I'm just, I don't know what direction I'm going, but it goes toward Julesburg from there. So if you're ever out there on that road and you know, look over where the buffalo are, you'll see that big disc from the road. So it's historic, it's a historic route. And there's also a, buffalo jump there too, where they could run the buffalo off, so. Anyway, and they're not sure exactly the route they're gonna take from St. Francis to, the breaks. And I have also already talked to Cody and given him a heads up, and to Ryan Murray about what could be happening, so. Okay, so really, seriously, if you have any input, any information or any help that you can give us, that'd be great.
Thanks, Janet.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Building permits.
what's this for?
Right,
This is the one building permit.
was the first one.
Yeah.
Do you have any problems with the new one?
For the first one. So
What's the one with the
but it
sheet on?
also sort of goes back to-
Where you at?
The house,
This is for what?
maybe it's got it on the house.
It's white.
Dan, you have any questions on the,
No. The one for Jordan has to do with all his property cleanup stuff, right? Going roundabout way. So. He's gonna put a carport in the driveway, so he'll go put cinder blocks down to level the carport out. Cause it's all sloped down.
Yeah.
And then it's a cinder block wall on the south side.
Mhm.
Cause he wants to dig all that down where it's level, but then he's gonna leave that one dirt up high above his curb, and then put sign up eventually, he said.
What about the, what kind of fence is the one for Edward?
That's at the they put in the trailer for aerating the ground, and they're gonna put a fence around it.
What kind of fence was it, do you know?
I don't, not for sure. I assume it's just chain link probably, but.
Any other questions on the building permits? I hear a motion to approve the building permits.
Move.
Moved by Justin, second by Randy, all in favor. There's also a raising permit in there. Motion to approve the raising permit. Moved by Larry, second by Justin, all in favor.
While we're on building permits, just FYI, there's a lot of stuff getting built without permits right now. I just haven't had time to write it all down.
Chicken permit, renewal. Justin, did you say?
Move.
Been moved by Justin,
second?
second by Randy, all in favor. Transient vendor permit.
Move.
These. Are these new ones?
Yes. Well, okay,
Filthy Fizz, like, it's new for the year, but there's a
Right,
renewal,
right.
Is this a new one? That's,
the other one is a new one,
okay,
sorry.
so. Justin, did you say you
What's the
moved?
other one?
Yes.
It's been moved by Justin to approve the, transient vendor application. Okay,
I thought you said you had another one.
yeah.
Two.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
yeah, I saw that.
Moved by Justin, is there a second?
Yeah.
Second by Randy, all in favor? And a small business incentive for morning ritual coffee.
I'll move to approve.
Yeah, second.
Moved by Larry, second by David, all in favor? Old business, property cleanup. Do we wanna go back to the Easter property? I visited with Lauren about that one, since that one is an ongoing court case. That if we went ahead and, I think, Jen, was she doing diversions?
That's our understanding.
So, it's our understanding she was doing diversions on that one in 616 south of Denison if they were in compliance. as of today's date, my recommendation on the Easter property was he's made some improvements. Obviously, there's more to go, but he got a building permit, so I think if we give him the time frame, give him a time frame that if it doesn't get finished, that was my recommendation to her, cause there's been some improvement, but there's still some work that needs to be done that I was okay with that, and then 616 South Madison looked like it was fine, so.
What kind of timeframe are you thinking?
I don't know.
Didn't it say August on the building permit?
That's what I was wondering.
That's what I thought, I
So
can't
give him
read his writing.
6 months would give him October.
Big constructions, I would say, as much issues as there's been there, August is probably late enough.
Okay,
I'm just guessing,
okay,
but otherwise, I kinda have this feeling he's one of those that postpones and postpones and postpones.
so 4 months,
Yeah.
okay. And then, like I said, the 616 South of Denison, they got their fence up and that looked good, so. The other property cleanup we have is 703 South Francis, whereby we've sent notice and she did not sign for it, so it's being returned.
And we got it back in the mail today,
Did
so
you?
we've got the physical letter back today.
So do we need to talk to Lauren about what our options are?
So ironically, I talked to Michael Baxter today, he happened to be over at the courthouse, so him and I were talking about some stuff, and that property came up. And he said that we've attempted to get notice to her that we could move forward with issuing a citation to appear in court and have that personally served. I visited with Lauren and she would be fine with that, taking that avenue.
So catch me up, how long has this process been?
It's been months, or that we've been on this property,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Long term?
we've been,
Okay.
yeah.
But we haven't been, it's only been a couple of months since she took over. Is that right?
A month, less than a month, since she's had it.
One of them just went through the court, or no show, was it?
No, that was the 616 South of Denison and the, you know, the other address.
Yeah, one of those was Jordan, and then the other one I
Easter
not
property.
showed up.
Those are the other two we just talked about that were no-shows in court. But this is the one that we've actually, previous owner has been found guilty, and then it transferred, and then we've tried with that owner who is incarcerated, and now it's, and we've actually tried twice with the current owner, once as a power of attorney for her brother, and
Now
then the
we do.
second time.
Now caught up.
Yep, so it's been an ongoing issue for several years, and I think that's probably our biggest one that people complain about, and
I think it's worth a shot. I mean, we've exhausted all our possibilities and
okay.
it's horrible.
We did have another tree go down up there Saturday night, that took out another,
Took out their power, well, their power line was up. Broke the pole, I think it broke the pole across the alley, but, the wire, comm wires are holding the pole up, so we hadn't attached to it, but, yeah, that's what was looking in my face. Sunday morning. So, trying to mess with that.
I think we do whatever we can.
so we just
Move
wanted to
forward.
issue a citation to appear in court.
And so,
Okay, that's what we'll do. Anything else, property cleanup?
I didn't. Unfortunately, with storm and stuff, I didn't have much time today to get much done, so.
I don't think we had anything else.
Problems, but I
pending,
can't think
did
of
we?
anything.
We had the one down here on Emerson that I believe got a diversion agreement as well, and it's, I think, for the most part, cleaned up. So, yeah. Projects pending. Anything?
Can we get a meeting for the
Yes, I've got that letter typed up.
Okay.
Um,
And when do you wanna meet for streets?
Dan, when are they, cause I tried to call you last week, wasn't it? Cause they were gonna come up and do the patching and we were wanting to see what we wanted to do, so maybe we need to get together. Dan, do you know when they're coming tomorrow? Before tomorrow? What time tomorrow? It dictates how soon we need to meet, huh?
You'll be here in the morning.
Well, maybe after the meeting tonight. Will that work? Okay. And then Washington's beautification. I'll just text everybody. That works, okay. The property cleanup at 600 South Adams. We gave them till May. Do we wait till the end of the month to follow up on that one, or?
If you gave them till May,
We gave them 6 months, which is the end of April.
I think
Cause
you
I
gotta
added
wait,
this-
you gotta wait then.
But do you wanna wait till
At least
the
the next
6th?
meeting.
Okay. Cause I know I had it on there to make sure we followed up with them, or,
Has there
checked
been
it.
any feedback on it?
I don't think they've done anything, have they? That day that Dan and I went and looked at it, they were like, oh, we haven't done it in a month, so
Yeah,
what?
they were going to Denver that day and all kinds of stuff.
So you kinda need warmer weather for
I know he had
shingles, so we'll give you 6
He had
months,
some
and
health issues, and I don't know how he's
I don't know either.
doing from that, but, yeah, no, they,
They had
Yeah,
plenty of
that's the
time,
thing.
yeah, to get it done, I think before the health. Seeing how they were gonna go to Denver and start it, and I'm like, didn't even
Yeah.
need a month to get it done, and here it is, 5 months and they haven't started, so. Okay, we can see, would you look and see when that exact date
Yes.
is, and let me know, okay? Anything else? Streets, we don't have anything, I guess you just let us know, they'll be here tomorrow.
yeah, that's on the superintendent's report.
Okay, we can wait till then.
I can tell you now,
Okay.
he'll be here tomorrow. We're gonna bring 2 truckloads of patch, and they're gonna crack seal them up. One thing I was gonna ask you guys up here in front of the school, do we wanna go ahead and do the school's parking area while we're doing it? Or how do we wanna, we just wanna do the street?
I would do the whole damn thing.
I tend to agree.
You talking about cracks?
Yeah, I think it-
I just need to know so I can get a hold of school in the morning and have them move cars.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Cause
Yeah.
they paid for their parking, right?
They paid for the chip seal.
Yeah.
They didn't pay for crack fill.
Yeah.
I'm
I'd say-
afraid
I'd
if
say
we
do
don't
it.
do it, it's gonna
Yeah.
eventually make its way to the street.
I'd say do it.
Yeah.
That's all I had for street stuff, I think.
Visitors, Ricky, you're up.
Oh, boy,
Yeah,
thank you for,
yeah.
my plan, I have a plan to buy a building from Equity, and it's, 306, Jackson. And, what I wanna do with the building is I wanna make a showroom. I wanna build me a little apartment in there, big garage, little rec room. That's what I wanna do, and I'm wanting to find out if I have to have permits to be able to live there, or, you know, I know I'm gonna need permits to put sewer in, water line, but I'm just kinda wondering, what do I have to do to be able to live there?
So-
Put it that way.
Jen and I looked into this, just zoned commercial, and Jen's understanding in the past when people have lived in or converted commercial structures into residential structures, it was just a matter of approval from the council, that there was no further.
And
That wouldn't
it's been
work.
done quite often, hasn't it?
And alls I can ever remember happening is the, owner just came to make sure it was okay, and I think the reasoning is because a lot of times in the commercial district, they aren't necessarily built for homes, and I think it was just to ensure, they would ensure the council that there would be living quarters in there, they wouldn't just be living, so. I think that's all he needs to do, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize, but I'm pretty sure in the past.
Which building is it?
It's right across the street from Bumper to Bumper. It's the second building over.
That's the Sam Miller's
Sam's.
down there.
Is it,
Okay.
it's not Russ, was it Russ?
Russ has the next one over.
Next one over?
Yeah,
He's
it's in between
one.
Russ and the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do we need a motion?
I don't know what I do.
Do we have a motion to approve that?
I move.
Moved by Justin,
I'll second.
second by David, all in favor? You're good to go.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, like, building permits, I need to get like, permits for sewer, a permit for getting a water line in there, anything like that?
You don't need a permit, but you're gonna have to get with Dan on the water line, because is there not a water meter there?
I don't think, well, there's no water in the building, I know that.
Okay, so if there's not a water meter, then
According,
you'll have to get in touch with
according to what I
Dan,
just read, he
issue a
just
quote.
has to have
Sewer
a tap,
taps are $200.
has to pay a
Okay,
tap fee, that's one of them that I just read. Has to pay a tap fee and a hookup fee for the water, and that's what I just read, so. But I don't know if any permits other than that, just requesting a tap fee.
That's what I thought so far. Thank you.
Yep, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Mm.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you.
Bill,
I just can't think.
just,
I hear stuff all the time, but then the next day you hear something different, so I thought I'd start attending the meetings, so when I hear something, I know whether it's true or false.
you get it firsthand that way, right? Yeah. Betty, did you?
Same thing with me,
Just-
I just was reviewing it.
Okay. Sherry, do you have any insight for us this evening?
No.
No?
Trust me, you don't wanna know.
Theater report. There is financials in the packet there.
I
Jen and
didn't-
Jamie and I went,
I didn't get the minutes yet, so,
okay,
You
sorry.
didn't?
I didn't receive
they're gonna
them.
be lovely, cause Ty did them, so they're gonna
I checked again today and I still hadn't.
I
Okay,
didn't get him either.
okay. Just making sure I didn't miss them.
So I don't think you did.
They're still working on the advertising, the selling ads. They're gonna try to get something finalized as far as how that process is going to work and maybe get with us next month, maybe. They didn't think they'd have anything.
You're just talking about on screen inside?
Correct.
Before the movies, they'll sell advertising to businesses.
It's just asinine to me that they start out in the red every month when they could easily start in the black doing that. But there's some logistics that they have to work out.
Sure.
But
But we're not going back to anything on the signs, on the outside sign, right?
the inside
No.
side,
The outside
The
sign.
I guess,
I,
On the market.
I still have some
Marquee,
concerns
thank
with
you.
that, but
That was a big word, I couldn't pick it up.
well, the question I have on that is, when we brought that up, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was meeting before last, you've been towards this meeting. But, that sign goes on a cycle, and it has to cycle, and so my suggestion was, we'll cycle the movie title over and over and over again, so when people drive by, they know what movie.
Yeah.
And she's having a hard time with that. But I have a hard time understanding that because it's also the signs on a timer. So you know when to set the timer, because if you go up there at 1 o'clock in the morning, the sign's off. So if you can set the timer, you ought to be able to set the movie title to just replay over and over and over again. It shouldn't be that difficult. And maybe it is, I don't know, but,
It's not on all the time, I've seen it off a couple times.
okay.
I'm gonna guess you're seeing the blank screen because she's having an issue with the blank. There's one
Oh.
apparently slide or something
that's
had to
blank.
do with timing.
Mm-hmm.
She was gonna mess with the time. 10
So
seconds?
so the longer
She
she
had
put the
that
time to show the movie slot, then the longer the blank slot is, so that's.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm,
And you
And-
can't,
I don't know,
but you can't make that movie slot time shorter and just have it keep cycling over.
Can't you just put the movie on the same slide?
that's what
Carry
he's talking
over.
about, yeah,
Mhm.
just the
Yeah.
movie and the time, or even movie time, movie time,
Well, the
movie
thing,
time, yeah.
slide on that slide, I guess.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, and I don't advertise in the website, I don't know. I don't know.
It's just, I mean, that's the number one complaint I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed like there for a while it had gotten a little bit better, and now it's back to the same, and it gets frustrating, you drive by there, you don't know what movie's playing.
Yeah.
It's either the visit us online or it's blank, yeah, unless
Or
you're
it
set
shows
for.
Shine County Theater,
Isn't
don't really need that, we know it's Shine County Theater.
commercial sign put that up? Why aren't they helping her get that set?
They have, is it them that has
She got some instructions, I believe, so, I thought she said the other night though, and could be wrong, didn't she say the Sherman Theater had the same sign?
mm-hmm,
Oh,
but I think ours is
They-
different.
yeah,
I don't think it's
They've
the
got
same.
big signs there, and we got
They-
this little thing.
I mean, she has some instructions, I think, so I mean,
I'll see if they can get it worked out and
Yeah.
let us know.
The one thing that, they did ask that I bring to the council and ask was the old marquee letters. They've had some people inquire about the old letters, whether or not the city wanted to donate and or sell them. And I said I would ask you guys.
The city ever wants to get rid of them, I'll put them in storage somewhere.
I would almost say hold on for a little bit, cause
Yeah.
it's one of those things that if you're dead and you wish you had them back,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
I don't wanna see them leave the community.
You guys wanna add? Okay.
See them leave.
We'll let them know. Anything else, Jamie or Jen on theater?
I don't have anything else.
School report?
We interviewed lifeguards last week. I'd like to request probably 5 minutes of executive session to, discuss non-elected personnel for employment. At the end of the meeting. We're looking at opening up the day after Memorial Day. We've got, pretty sure we've got, swimming lessons covered, swim teams covered. Training will be covered in May. And then it's just a question of, approving the applicants.
Some-
What else?
Some years you've had overwhelming response of applicants,
This is,
and
this
some
is,
years you've had,
this is far and away the best year we've
Good,
had for applicants. And I think we've got some young individuals too that will help us out long-term.
good,
Seems like there's a lot of interest, if we can just keep the kids going, so,
is Barb doing the training again?
yeah. But I'll bring up,
A lot of new ones, or do you have a lot of?
yeah,
One's
we've got,
coming.
we've got 5 or 6 coming back, I think. I'll go through the notes and see.
Okay.
But I think that's all I've got, and then Lauren had volunteered to pay for the opening day, which she had mentioned. Rec Commission's gonna sponsor at least three days. City's agreed to pay for Alumni Saturday. I think what else? She's already got, I don't wanna say how many, but I know she's got at least a couple parties booked. Then we'll have to discuss like, hours is the main thing. So, and I'll bring up the names and stuff in executive, and
Sure.
then we can make a decision from there.
Gonna be open on Mondays.
We need to talk about that. Yeah, definitely.
Is there a motion to accept and file the pool report?
some,
Moved by David, second by Randy, all in favor? Superintendent report.
Well, so as I told you, we obviously had storm issues. Seems like Seems like we need to build everything for hurricanes out here, but it keeps falling over. Trees are falling. The other night I was out on fire and I was on the phone with Prairie and trying to get them to cover power outage for us. Hopefully I can find somebody to take over the line work.
Say that again?
I said, hopefully I can find somebody that'll take over the line work one of these days. So, just information, I know this is voted on way back when, but just so you guys know. Foley Cat comes out and services our loader, and it's $2,110.07 the last time they come out here. So I'm just telling you, so when you see it signed going through and you didn't approve it, it was approved way back when, they automatically come out and take care of it.
It needs done.
I think, did I show pictures of the scout hut? I don't have pictures with me, but anyway, the sink collapsed, a lot of the sink collapsed.
You showed that a while ago.
Yeah, well, I just got, estimates. So one's to remove and replace cabinets, change water heater to 110 volt demand water heater. That'd be $2,280. And the other one is just to add 1/2 inch millennium bottom of cabinets, or whatever that word is. And it would be $300.
Just a coating?
I think it's wood they put in the bottom of it. I still think we need to probably look at a water heater either way, cause I think that's what caused our problem. I think it has an overflow off, it started leaking and then it fell through the cabinet and turned everything black from mold. And that's from TJ's.
You say remove and replace cabinets, what are we talking about square footage?
I don't know for sure. It'd just be that kitchen sink area, that one cabinet there. Big cabinet.
Basically just.
Having just
cabinet
gone through that
rooms.
at our church, this seems very reasonable. Really reasonable.
It's not huge, but it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a kitchen sink and a couple of counters on each side. I didn't actually measure it out, so.
Yeah.
What's everybody's thoughts?
Say replace it. Replace it.
Is that a motion?
That's the motion. Second.
Moved by Justin and then seconded by Randy to go ahead and do the full replacement.
2,800.
All in favor?
Okay, we went to Wichita. I do have both water and wastewater certification now. The other two guys had the same problem I had last time and did not pass, but we're willing to try it again if you guys want them to. That was gonna be my next thing, is there's a training in Hayes, May 20th and 21st, if we're like running ahead on the pool or something. That's gonna be the closest you ever get to do that testing. Is in Hayes.
Seems probably a good idea.
So if they wanna do it and you're good with it, I'll go ahead and have them sign up for it.
Which two?
Be DJ and Jared.
Jared?
But at least I don't have to worry about hiring one other certified guy again. So
I'm all right with it.
Everybody okay with that?
maybe one night basically, and I'll probably go set in just to get my wastewater hours, that way I'm ahead of the game, cause every 2 years they gotta have so many hours. Okay, this is kind of back to pool stuff, but I didn't get time to get a quote today, but last year we bought 20 bleach and 9 acid to start the year, and it was $6,575.85. I'm sure I'm gonna have to buy this before next meeting. You guys want me to go through Amanda, or do you want me to just get it and come back to the council and say this is what it's gonna be? I mean, last year we ended
You
up,
gotta have it.
the total last year, we did 20 bleach and 9, let's see, no, I'm wrong. I don't remember what we did exactly, but it was $9,120 for the whole year. So,
Have you done any price comparisons yet?
no. We tried last year to price comparison, and the people we're buying from actually makes the bleach for almost everybody else.
And then mark it up.
So you're not, no, they don't mark it up, they can't go, the other people can't compete with them because they make it. So they're actually lower. But if you're good with it, I'll just go ahead and get it there and, next meeting. Sorry, Ian.
Thanks, Al. Thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to get with all the ward stuff found yet and see what we need, but if you guys are good with it, I'd like to go ahead and order poles. It'll be 32 poles, it'll be $20,064.61. Cause we know we're gonna need the poles.
Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll move to approve that.
Moved by Larry, second by Justin, all in favor?
And that'll come out of capital improvements. The money's in there for that.
Jamie, did you get the amount?
20,062, 64,
20,064.61.
64.61.
He said it fast enough, I didn't.
I know. Well, I'd have caught him later.
And the rec commission and the new coach for baseball. Again, they wanna build a pitcher's mound out there and they wanna get some of that clay from the sewer ponds. I don't have a problem with it unless you guys do.
Good luck. We
They're
tried-
gonna mix it with sand though, so it's not.
Yeah, we tried that several years ago, and you can see where we ended up. Yeah, go for it.
Then I'll need an executive session for wage discussion for probably 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
I didn't wanna do the 5, so. I don't
I'll
want
hold you to it.
Just have to be different.
Yeah.
5 never, no. 10's way too much, so.
Anything else, Dan?
Huh?
You're talking about the sampling stuff?
No, I don't know. This, what is it? So the RTCR site plan,
I got a couple things.
this is something we had to do because with Yost going out of business, we had to set up different sampling places, so that's what this is all about.
Okay.
So. I don't know.
Where we at? Was
I heard-
there a valve broke up over by the school?
Yeah, we're gonna have to dig that.
Do you know how long that might take?
No, one of DJ's on vacation right now, and they'll work on the pool, but we can.
Where's it at?
Front of the school, high school? Well, they can't water in front?
And it's one we're probably gonna change that meter someday, and that's, I think it's gonna turn into a nightmare, cause it's all galvanized pipe.
It already leaks.
Huh?
It already leaks.
That's my point, that's probably why we need to change it eventually, and probably get them to do their part on fixing it.
Is there any way to get somebody on that street sweeper for a longer period of time?
I'm trying.
Okay. I just,
Yes, I
Let's
will
get-
try.
down by that newspaper, I know over there is getting.
I know, I
the
need
sand
somebody
break.
on Main Street,
Okay.
you know, we usually try to do that in the evening, so
Yeah.
I'll get on somebody and see if we can get them down there.
Have we started watering in the parks?
I don't know.
I'll do about that too.
We turned everything
Mike,
on.
I think Mike has, he's all set up on a schedule, but I think they did start it.
over there by that school, at the grade school, when we did that new intersection over there, seems like where there was a water leak there many years ago, but it seems like that thing's just sinking right there. It's almost like where they, I can't remember what intersection that is.
You're talking behind
Yeah,
Francis and
yeah, it's Francis for sure, it's coming towards them.
Spencer, Francis and Spencer.
Yeah,
That's one Brock's scheduled to tear out.
okay, it seems like, I don't know if there's a sinkhole there, but it just seems,
Yep, that's one he's got on his list.
okay, that's all I have.
You wanna talk about the other intersection? The one he started today?
Just that he started it. Where are we going here?
Something else.
On the curb and gutter, on the issue with the homeowner with the curb and gutter.
Oh, yeah, I wonder, don't wanna place it right now.
The one I had you look at.
It doesn't have a choice, does it? If that kind of, we're trying to fix the whole dang intersection.
Well, we can fix our apron part, and that, I guess when Lauren gets here, we can have her fill in on that, but
Right.
if you, we can ask Lauren, cause, I mean, I think if we,
Probably something we need advice from the attorney
Yeah.
on.
What was this, just money or what?
we're gonna do it on his own time.
Hmm.
I said I would pass that along, he didn't think that he should have to replace it now, and he wanted to do it on his own time, and he was out of town, he couldn't be here tonight, so I said I would pass that along, so. Dan told Brock not to go ahead and do the intersection, but not worry
Yeah,
about
I
the
should
curb and
say, I
gutter.
told Brock he could do the intersection, but not to mess with that curb and gutter. So they're doing the intersection, they're gonna do the church, all the churches, building permit stuff. So,
So there, like the ones before that did that other one, other side, I can't remember who the owner was. So they had that choice not to do it?
I don't know, when we talked
The
about-
one, I can't remember who it was. Well, he had Lampies right there. And then he had across the street over there.
That one got partly done and
Partly.
it's gonna get finished,
Right.
yeah.
But did they have a choice not to do it?
That one was tearing up the street.
Right, but it's gonna be the same thing on that intersection.
I don't
There's
know
no
if it'll
water
tear up the
going through
street,
that
will it,
gutter.
Dan?
hmm?
Will it tear up the street, that curb and gutter?
I don't think it'll wash out into the street like it does up here.
So,
It won't cut it out, but.
did you have something, Larry?
Yeah, I was just gonna touch base. Had you talked to Brock anymore about Keller Pond?
I have, he's still waiting on his telehandler.
That's what he told me. He said, he's been waiting on it for 3 months, and he said he could rent a crane, $225 an hour, 6 hours minimum, so you're looking $1,500 to get it fixed.
So,
It's still roped off. I think we'll wait.
I
I
said we
didn't
wait
say
till
if they
June
keep-
and it'll
They
be
keep
dry up.
irrigating, we'll be able to walk across there anyway.
We won't need the bridge.
I just thought I'd mention that, that's all.
Be able to just put a dirt mound across
Mhm.
there.
We can go down and fix it and not have to
Yeah.
lift it up. So, anything else for Dan? If not, do I hear a motion to accept and file the superintendent? Right, I don't know that the attorney has a report, treasurer report.
Remove.
Oh, sorry, moved by David,
Second by Randy.
second by Randy. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for watching. Sorry, Jamie. That wouldn't have been fun to go back and listen to that and be like, All right, treasurer report.
The first thing I have is we got a proposal from CIC. Apparently, for our new meter reading system, they're gonna have to do a little bit of custom programming for us. So I need approval from the council to pay CIC $2,340 for the custom programming so we can be able to use our new meter reading system.
That wasn't in part of the deal before?
No, because the deal before was strictly the
buddy.
meter
See
reading
ya, thank
system
you.
Yep.
from that 19. And so they've been working with CIC, so now this has come about
What was the amount again?
$2,340. My suggestion would be just to pay this out of utilities. I mean, I know it's part of the meter reading system, but we're into the new year and
Is it a one-time?
yes. It
That's what
says here,
you were
no
telling me
annual
about.
support fee of $360, but they'll probably combine that into our annual peopleware agreement, so need to get this approved before we can do,
Really
The
start
rest of it.
using it?
yeah.
Is there a motion to approve? Moved by David, second by Justin, all in favor?
Do they know when exactly we'll be able to go?
No, I told them that this was an unexpected expense and I would need to come to the council. And I think once I get, I don't know if they're gonna expect half down, but I think once I can get this signed and see if they need it. I should probably also ask for a motion to pay this out of cycle, because if they do need half down before they can do it, I should probably cut that check. I'm sorry.
Did your motion have that to pay it out of cycle? Okay.
Okay,
His
Pay it out of
motion had
cycle.
that, and your second.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what I heard.
I don't mean to cut in on hers when I should have on mine, but the meter reading thing is up out here, so.
What's the custom programming is, my
It's
question.
actually to integrate our billing software in with their.
Oh, the billing with, okay,
Yeah, I'm sorry, CIC's our financial and utility billing, and,
so yeah, the integration would be
You
custom,
probably come on after we bought that, didn't you?
yeah.
yeah.
So
And-
this'll take, nobody will drive anymore, this thing's supposed to just do it all, go right to her computer, be done. It'll show her if there's any water meters running more than they should be.
And if it doesn't work, then she has to go out and
Mhm.
check it.
No, that's why I can just make phone calls.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
I can't, am I gonna have power to just shut people off
So that
in
should
the
be quite a
office?
few, bit of a cost
Yeah.
savings.
Yeah,
It should be.
and then for non-payment, she can shut them off.
Some of them, I
Some of
guess
them.
I can just push a button and, so, anyways.
That's too much power.
I
A
know.
little too much, yeah, even for, it really, you know, anybody.
I'm mad at you, you're done.
Bottom line, you're not gonna have to send a guy out all the time to read the meters.
Right.
Right, so
That's
anyways,
a lot of power.
And anytime I'm home on vacation, my power will be off.
and a new, well, in 2025, House Bill 2152 got passed, so all public funds will now, we'll be using the Kansas collateral pool for our pledge securities. So, when we have over $250,000 in an account, we've always had to have pledge securities through each bank. But now it'll all be through the state, so the banks have been having me sign letters to release the pledging, and then we'll start getting reports from the state, something we have to do, just letting you know. So the state will be in charge of our pledge securities. And then I have a bill. The report, the sample report that I saw, it looked like it'll be okay, so I think we're just gonna have to trust it's gonna be okay, cause.
Nothing else we can do.
Right, so anyways, that's just something that'll be happening that we don't have a choice, so. And then I think, I have two more things. So we had a little confusion, so at the library, they finally got the work done. They have the leaky toilets. I think that was before you guys came on. We had some issues that the toilets are on the wall mounted, and they were leaking and stuff, so we had to have some work done, but they did a little bit of extra work, that the library had asked them to do. So it was $50 more than the quote. So we just need to get permission. Typically what should happen is we should just, any repairs the superintendent should be called, and then he can make the determination whether they can get down there and fix it, or like in this case, it was too big of a project. I mean, they had to take down wallpaper and fix some stuff in the toilet, so I just need to know if you guys wanna pay this $50 since it was not part of the repair. The one thing that we will need to be mindful of moving forward, I believe, is making sure that this stuff goes through the city. I know this one's just $50, but it kind of put me in a little bit of a tight spot because I knew what was approved and what I could pay. So Travis hasn't been paid for this $50. The library board deemed that the city should pay it.
It's paid.
And so, anyways, I just need to know what to do with it so I can move forward.
Or you could just tell Travis you now have the button to his electrical.
Don't put any of this in the paper.
I guess my suggestion is just to remind the library board that there's a certain, yes, there's certain procedures, and per Dan's job duties, he's in charge of maintaining all of the grounds, properties and whatnot, and anytime that there's any sort of repair, it needs to go through him and then be fixed. It's not anything, we haven't dealt with this down at the theater. I think we had some issues when JR was here. Didn't seem like that long ago, but it was back when JR was here. Just reminding these different boards as people come and go that there's a certain way, procedures that happen, and any sort of repairs that need done on the building needs to come through the city, so.
I don't know what that is, $50, I'd say, yeah, pay it.
In cycle or out of cycle?
Out of cycle, and I'll pay it the
What
next time
fund do
I
you wanna
do.
pay it out of? I mean, do we need to crunch some numbers?
No, but it's a repair, so I know where to pay that, but then I'm not gonna like just cut a check tomorrow, but the next time I do a batch of checks, I'll make sure to get him paid. What were you gonna talk about? When Dan touched on, there's some stuff that even I notice when I'm out and about, people building stuff.
I mentioned it when we were talking about the recodification, if we wanted to put something in there, which I think that would be a Lauren question, but I think the way it reads, I mean, they're in violation for not getting the permit, so I don't know what the,
Water turned off.
if it's not stated whatever the minimum
Might
fine
turn over.
is, and I don't know what that is. Cause I think it doesn't state a fine, so it would just fall under the automatic, whatever the minimum.
Yeah.
And I had kind of drafted, I got those to you, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't sure, I'm bringing it up in my report because I've noticed a couple of things, and then it kind of puts me in a bad position, cause I see people have done this building, haven't got a permit, and sometimes it's just hard to know what to do because,
So I came up with just a nice friendly letter that's brought to the city's attention that, you know, something's been erected that you didn't get a building permit for, you can either, you know, come get a building permit or contact the city if you feel that you got this letter in error. And then there's a second follow-up that's a little more, you're in violation, you know, we're gonna have to enforce it if you don't follow through by such and such date, so.
Red letters in violation.
It's in draft form, we can change it if we need to, Justin.
Scarlet letter.
I found
There we go.
red letters work maybe after the third or fourth, but usually not received
So-
on the first or second. I just didn't know if that's something, if we saw that, we could pass it on to Dan, we could pass it on to the mayor, and then that way it's an open line of communication between the office and the people, and yet it's really, building permits are to protect the residents, really, to make sure that it doesn't cause them issues later if they put something on their property that, and
I think notifying is important
Yeah, like I said, it,
before we just jump down the throats or something.
well, we could work on a final draft, and I just think it's good to keep an open line of communication
Sure.
with the customers, cause sometimes then if they find out that they were supposed to have one, they're upset, because some people really didn't know, sometimes
Oh, yeah.
people,
are they really upset?
yeah, sometimes, and I just think the more that we can maybe communicate, the better. I mean, and I also, I know now it's April. Did we talk last fall about maybe putting a letter in the bills in the springtime that talks about
Talked
keeping
about
property clean and
putting some
just
sort of,
like a nice letter?
it'd be nice to put a little
General.
reminder on occasion of, you know,
Mhm.
different things, yeah. We've talked about
Mhm.
adding something different, seasons, but
I mean, if that's something that somebody wanted to draft,
I'm on it. You know me,
Okay.
I can get that done.
because I won't print city bills this month. I won't even print them till the 28th, and so if that's something that we approve, could
Just for
come up with,
cleanup,
yeah, just something about, making sure your property's cleaned up, make sure weeds are cut, nice. If we could get something
Mowed.
drafted in it, and then if you guys wanted to look at the next council meeting, we would have time to print that and stick them in with the bills, I
I'm
think.
thinking just a little.
Justin, you better hope that she
Yeah,
didn't
I
push
mean-
that button on the 29th.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll actually be the 25th.
You don't have a meter yet, you're good.
Anyways, that was something
Okay.
else I
I think
was
it's a
thinking
good
of.
idea.
Yeah,
I think
the
it
more
is,
we,
yeah.
when Ryan Elliott used to come, he was all about communication, and even though when you first move to town, you get this packet of what happens, you've got so much other stuff going on, you forget different things, and having that little reminder, like I said, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put something seasonal,
Mhm.
Especially
winter time,
during
if we have
spring and
snow, to,
summer.
remind snow routes and that kind of stuff, to just kind of
If we
have
had
something,
snow.
if we, this winter, we didn't have to worry about it, so,
So
but,
we could've kept the
just.
pool open all winter.
Darn
Yeah.
near.
I feel like I'm seeing it more, we give them I call it a new customer packet, and we go over it with them, and we don't go over everything word for word, but it talks about side-by-sides and golf carts, and I tell them, if you have one and you wanna run them around town, we have rules for it, read through this, we'll tell you what to do. I tell them about dogs, I tell them about chickens.
Ducks too?
Well, you guys haven't actually approved ducks yet,
But it's
so
coming,
I
it's
haven't
coming.
approved that, but it's coming. But unfortunately, I'm seeing more and more, especially the newer people in town, that I think it is a lot when they first come in, and they're running around in golf carts or on four-wheelers, and I don't know if they just, if we need to reiterate it better in the office, or, because we do it in a kind way, and we don't read the whole thing to them, but
Well,
I
the best you can do is present the information. but
true.
How many
I
people
just-
would move into the community and sit down and read through the ordinances?
No, they're not gonna, so that's why we've, summarized it, but I feel like I'm seeing it just, whether I'm running downtown or out on a weekend, I see a lot of stuff, and I don't know if we need to do something different in the office when they first come in, because I think it's becoming more and more.
I
Anyways,
like your idea about putting something in with the
I do
study.
too.
yeah, anyways, I think
I
that's all I
actually
have.
read
Well,
those.
Yeah, whether you change it quarterly or whether you just change something every
Every other
month.
month or something,
Does it take, how much can you actually put in?
we can't
Well-
put that much in there.
This would actually have to be a
An
whole
insert.
separate piece of
Separate
paper.
letter?
Because I really only have one line for different things, like I
And
use
I
it for
think-
dog tags and then the water report every year, but
I think that gets lost, people don't look for, unless it's bolded or in a different color or something that really just, and I don't know that it would be that much more to put an insert.
Do you think people would actually look at the insert?
I think
I do.
It'll
you
fall
get
out
a
of their
different colored
bill.
thing and it falls out, you're gonna see it, than
Okay.
to have just an additional line on there.
And I actually pay my bill online, but I get the other file. I mean, I could go without, and that's getting to be more popular, people not have you mail the bill.
yeah, and I've had the capability for quite some time in the utility billing program to email directly from that and not use PSN. Cause I found out in the last few months that the people who've signed up for PSN, the bill file that they get doesn't have all the information on it. I have a couple of notes on the bill, standard notes, and it doesn't come across, so I started utilizing the CIC email system, and I've had a ton of people sign up for that. And it looks exactly like the bill that's printed, so
Oh,
I'm hoping
You can
that a
send
lot
They
of
send
people
it out
will
via the
transition.
email as well.
Do what?
Send it out via the email platform as well. Do
Yes,
both.
yeah, so even if we do newsletters, I can still email those with the bills, it'll have to be a separate email.
That would actually be kinda handy, you have the email for the bill and the,
I don't think I can do that, not out of CIC,
Well-
but we can make it work.
yeah,
We'll make it work
if
if we
you've got
have,
the email addresses and you can
Yeah.
email it. to people.
right, but I actually have had quite a few people show more interest now that I'm emailing it directly from me through the CIC program, and they don't have to sign up for PSN.
Do I need to come in and sign up for that?
Or you could just write me a note with your email address and I can get you
If I can remember till tomorrow.
So anyways, I think maybe we need to start doing something like that, just as a reminder, and especially for the new people in town, especially where they're maybe overwhelmed trying to sign up for everything and,
Yeah.
just to protect them. I mean, I'm not.
Good
Anyway,
idea.
So I think that's all I have now.
Is there a motion to accept and file the treasurer report?
So,
Moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Clerk report.
Okay. If I have to. Okay, got your financials, if anybody has any questions on those. I may not have answers, but I'll try. Okay, and then we included the insurance declarations just for review, but this does not cover the power plant. So as of right now, the power plant is not insured. Neitzel and Fruin are having difficulty locating a company that's willing to insure the plant. In talking with Roxy, she said they're working diligently. They've got one company that's potentially able to insure the plant, but they're asking for, do what? But they're asking for an engineering report, so Roxy is gonna find out exactly what they need to know, so that we can find out if the one that we use, Miller, if they would be willing to do the engineering report to see if they can even cover it, so that's kind of where they are with that. So that's why the, cost is less for the insurance, currently than it normally would be. And then just as an FYI, we did receive a dividend check for $14,155.40 also from EMC.
Didn't we say a couple meetings ago that the plant was one of many structures that we have on the same insurance policy?
We have one insurance policy and it covers
But they're not.
many things. If you look at the front page here, it lists all the stuff that's covered, well, it's all lumped into one policy, so it covers our liability, the vehicles, property. So yes, it's lumped in there. And everything is covered as usual except for the power pit this year.
Which Dan's seen that coming.
Well, I tried last year too.
Yeah.
They messed with us last year.
And according to Roxy, it's like anybody who's got one, they're just not, insurers are not covering them. So, she did say that some municipalities are choosing to not insure their old plants, but they are working diligently on trying to find a solution for us.
How was that plan again?
How old?
430s,
It was here when the flood, yeah.
About 35, yeah, or whatever year that was.
33? Who's here when the town was founded?
They hauled it in from Wayno. All right, and then the bond issue that you guys had asked me to find out on from Gilmore and Bell. This is just straight from what they said, per Kevin Cowan of Gilmore and Bell. The governing body may act by resolution to amend the bond resolution. You'll just be adding the proposed project to the list of projects originally named in the bond. Gilmore and Bell will help draft the resolution. There are no state fees. There will be a small fee from Gilmore and Bell, which they did not give us an amount on that. To proceed, they need a project description, including the street, the area, etc., an estimated cost for the project. They want to know where additional funds would come from in case the bond funds are not enough, and they want a motion or request to move forward. in the project description, they want it to be clearly identified where, how, and what the project is. And then Gilmore and Bell says their expected time frame would be a couple of weeks from when we send our project description to them, and then to you guys approving their resolution. Does that make sense? Because I literally just wrote exactly what he said. So if there's any questions, I can call him and ask. But that's pretty much verbatim.
Well, and we explained, you guys are possibly looking
Right.
at the 500 block of East Spencer and thought maybe this might be a good way to utilize it. So
Right.
that's why we were calling him, and that way we could just do one project with one set of fees and get it done. So, seemed like a pretty easy process.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
what we talked about, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I should have explained.
no,
That's
you're
what I
good.
was
Yeah.
bringing it up for.
I just wanted to clarify.
Okay, and then the last thing was I think Justin had asked about the Civic Plus, finding out a little information about them. So that's in your guys' packet. It's really it's not a bid, but they did include a cost sheet. Just informational, what they can offer, inner workings. They reviewed the system with us, how we would use it, advised on what other counties and cities locally are using it, advised on the accessibility features, which includes a function to translate the page into audio. They have experience with upcoming regulatory changes in 2027 in reference to the accessibility. And they did say that they could, or we could add, if you wanted to, the theater as a department on the website, so you wouldn't have to have separate, because I think that was one of the questions that someone had asked me to look into. It could just be its own page on the same site, with the same features that it has now. They do have support provided at the basic price point, although the prices are, I'll let y'all look at that. They did say, however, that obviously that cost on there is not a final cost. There are discounts available, and then I guess if you guys needed us to look at bids, then I did look it up just in case you guys had questions about who all's using it locally. So as of right now, Colby, Ray, Burlington, Norton, Hill City, McCook, Sharon Springs, in a partnership with Wallace County, Garden City, Phillipsburg, Hayes, Great Bend, Stockton, Cheyenne County, Wallace County, Thomas County, Graham County. And then I looked at some of the other, what people locally are using. Atwood's using Revise, not sure what that is. Scott City, it looks like Granicus, Goodland, G-Works, Oakley, Town Web. Smith County is using CIC.
For a website?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was a possibility, but you can click on it, takes you straight to CIC. So FYI, that's what local places are looking at. So that's just for your guys' information if you need me to get other information from other sites.
Go ahead.
Strictly from a movie theater board perspective, so you said the movie theater could be an offshoot of our
It would,
city.
yep.
Who would maintain that theater updating?
They should still be able to have access
They
to
should
their
still have
part of
access.
it, yeah, and they should still be able to
Thanks,
update
Troy.
their movies and times and all of
So
that.
I guess two more questions I have is how much do we pay it annually on our website? And then how much do we pay it annually for the movie theater website? And if we can combine those, could the cost savings be enough to legitimately take a look at this?
I still think it would probably be more, but
Yeah, but
It's gonna be more, but
part of it's this accessibility issue that we're gonna have to get to.
Okay.
what
Two
do we pay
separate
for that?
domains, each domain's gonna get charged anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
You're talking about the theater and?
Yeah, if
Cause
you've
they have
got,
to have
if
their own
you've
domain
got
name.
two separate domain names, you're gonna get charged for each domain name.
Correct.
right, whereas
Yeah.
if you combined them, it would just be a
If you
department.
com- Yeah, if you combined
Yeah.
them, it would be a department, it wouldn't have its its own domain name. You can
It would
drop
just be like clicking on administration and seeing, you know, what City Hall is doing, or if we had police, if you'd click on police, there it would be.
I don't know what we paid for them.
I mean, we just paid, $1,250 for the theater website.
Okay.
And I cannot remember, I think we pay for the hosting and stuff maybe in May. Elevation Design bills us for that, so not
And do
sure
we
off
know
the
what
top
we're
of my
looking
head.
at to be ADA compliant?
I'm not sure
No.
if they're gonna give us a quote, or have you heard from her at all?
Wasn't she supposed to come last?
She, yeah, and
She
then
was
she
on the agenda.
didn't, so I was talking to Lila about it, I'm gonna call her. I didn't think to call her before this meeting, so I apologize, but I'm gonna call her this week and see if she's wanting to,
To put together a package. for-
yeah, if you guys are okay with that.
I think we need to at least.
The fact of the matter is, it may make sense to do one website and then have the theater have its own section, because then Jessica or whoever she delegates to do it should still be able to access that part of it to be
Yeah.
able to. That would probably in the end be more cost effective, since you guys are having to look at this other stuff anyways,
Yeah. That
really
makes
when you
sense.
think about it.
This is probably a really dumb question, but with what you're talking about with having the categories or the departments,
Mm-hmm.
can you tie Facebook page into that?
I don't
Anybody know?
know, I didn't ask, but I mean, usually there are ways to link, so.
I was just curious as far as like the pool.
That's what my next question.
Well, the pool
How
could
many
have a
subheadings
section.
Can you have? Can you have a whole
Yeah.
section for the pool?
Well,
If you-
yeah.
If you look on there, they've got like, and I think with any website you could actually do this, but it's just department links. And you could have a pool section on there, you could have
'Cause the pool's
whatever.
got its own Facebook page. They use, that they created.
But they could put a link on the
Yeah.
webpage.
Is there somebody
to
that
it.
can come and speak?
Yes, and they've offered to, but I wanted to give you guys information and see what you needed me to do before we did anything like that. It would be probably an online, like a Zoom, but yeah, they're willing to speak with y'all.
When did the county go on?
Month of,
He said you guys were still in progress, but he was.
yeah, they approved it because they were really pushing for transportation to be compliant by April, I think, April or May, so I know they approved it maybe even back in February.
But they haven't got completely transitioned yet.
I don't know how long that
It's
takes.
all over the county's website.
Haven't been on for a while.
No, the theater would probably still keep their domain name, and you just point to a subsection on their website. That just means managing DNS records, so.
I know back in the municipalities, like the theater in the city, we have to have a website because it's mandated, but we're finding more people visit social media sites than they do websites now.
Mhm.
Well, the thing is that you can, I like having the access, you look something up, then you can go to one place, one website, then go and access other things from there.
Mhm.
Or vice versa.
Okay, and then there's it should be in there, the flyer for the budget workshop. I was gonna see if it's okay if I attend that in Colby on May 4th. It's $75. And then there are also webinars. I don't know if anybody else wants to attend, but if you're unable to attend in person, they also have webinars, the 12th, 13th, and 18th of May.
Yes, go.
Is that okay?
Jamie, I'll check my schedule and see.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, if anybody is interested in it and they
Webinars are
can't,
strictly during the day?
I believe so, yeah.
After the fact type stuff.
No, I think they're during the day. I could go in there and bootleg it for you though.
I was just curious if they did like any post webinars.
I can
you
find
still
out.
access 'em.
I can find out, like, if you pay for it, if you're
Yeah.
able to watch it on your own. I doubt it, but I can find out, because I think it's interactive. I think you, like,
Ask questions.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'll find out. Okay, and then KMEA sent us a, electric rate comparison, just for y'all's review, just kinda shows, they did ask for us to not put the city names in open meeting, so that's redacted, but I have the original. But just for your guys' review of what other areas are charging. The options, I didn't print it for everybody, but the options 2025 annual report is on the shared. And then the foundation brought over this new generation fund, just for your guys' information. They thought it was neat and you might like to see it, just kind of the roots of where it all started. So that is all I have, I think. Okay.
You said you had that in here,
I have what?
that.
I don't put the flyers in for the budget workshop.
Well, yeah, I didn't have that, or the.
Oh. Sorry, I was still printing stuff this afternoon and I probably didn't. I can get you a copy of
Okay,
it.
perfect.
I apologize for that.
That's right.
It should be in the shared, but I can make you a copy before we leave,
Okay.
if anybody
Or you can
wants.
email it to me tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
Sitting here wondering on my pile, so did I
I had so much to print that I started running out of time. I was still printing when he was trying to work on the sound system today. So I apologize.
Anything else, Jamie?
I think that's it.
Is there a motion to accept and file the clerk?
So moved.
Moved by David,
Second.
second by Randy, all in favor? Attorney report, Lauren, did you have anything?
No.
Did we wanna skip back to the questions we had for Lauren? So then we can rewind through what.
That was a long time ago.
I know, should've been here, Lauren, we had a couple questions for you.
It was Dan.
You could have called me.
Curb and gutter was one. Curb and gutter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The one
That's a
with
very
the door
broad.
before.
The individual that did not want to go ahead with the project that the city was doing and go ahead and redo their curb and gutter. And I guess the question was, what action does the city have, what options does the city have? as
Send them a
far as-
letter, tell them if they don't get it taken care of, that they're gonna receive a citation for their curb and gutter being in violation of code section 13-206A.
And that
That's
can't be
exactly
put
what
on-
we said.
Right?
Yeah. But we didn't need her here, what the heck,
Yeah,
that's exactly what it
can't they add that, I mean, they can pay that through their bill monthly or whatever.
They can come,
They can request, it's not an automatic thing.
It's not automatic.
It's not an automatic
and it
thing.
goes on the tax rolls, so you can pay it off on your taxes, and the interest rate is the going bond rate, yeah, so it's on your taxes.
So, I mean, they've got an option.
Mhm.
Is it critical to the project? I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I mean, it's not in very good shape.
There is no curb, like,
So, yeah.
whole, if I remember right, there's.
So all the dirt that mounds up there just falls down right in your intersection.
Let's see if they're gonna be in violation. They might not be ready for it, but they don't have to pay immediately that way. That's on the tax. Oh, yeah, that's awful.
Where exactly is that at?
Right by it. Baptist Church.
To the south of the Baptist church.
South of the Baptist church.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What was that?
I mean, I guess technically you don't have to send them a letter.
South of
That's
the
not a
Baptist
procedure that's stated in article, or in chapter 13 of the code. You could technically just write them a citation for being in disrepair.
But then you just buy it? It's a recent purchase?
What was this excuse?
I believe it is recent.
Not that recent. A couple
In the
years.
last year maybe,
I bet it's been 2 years.
yeah, it could be 2 years.
I don't know.
I mean, I think from a
it was
courtesy,
last year.
from a courtesy standpoint, it's up to the council as to whether or not they want to send it. But the only chapter of the code which requires the notice of something being in disrepair is the property cleanup. In chapter 8. So technically a citation could just be issued because it is in disrepair, but it seems to me that the council kind of, for most situations, sends a letter before they write a citation, so. Not that it's a required not that it's a due process requirement, but that seems to be what the council does for most other situations. That's what I would suggest doing in this one as well. What else you got for me?
Does that answer your question, I guess, Justin?
I guess, kind of, yeah, but
I mean, there's a lot of curb and gutter we're gonna have to do something with if we're gonna start going after people on that. I mean, ours in front power plant's not good. Out here, Washington Street's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it depends how hard we wanna hit this.
And I get, like when we did the street project, you get it cleaned up then, and that's kind of why this one was brought up, cause we were doing that intersection and
Right.
thought, well, while we're there, probably would have been beneficial and maybe even a little cheaper for them
If
to.
they could give us a timeline for when they would want to do it, if they wanted to just contract it themselves to replace it, just give us a timeline, when you're gonna get it done.
We could do that, couldn't we just send a letter that they're curb and gutter and sidewalks in disrepair and ask what their,
At least to find their intentions.
find their intentions and,
And if it
Invite
goes
them to-
past this time, then there's a possibility of a citation being issued, whatever. I mean, that's being nice about it, it's still
Mhm.
kinda saying,
Yeah.
hey, it needs done.
cause I mean, if we start with the issue we have up here where it's starting to erode out the street, if we start looking at some of these and maybe decide to maybe tackle a little bit each year, where we're letting people know to keep it, to get it fixed, especially like wherever we're doing some street work, that way it doesn't get to the point that it's
Yeah, I
eroding
mean,
the street.
and you can put it into the letter that way. We're currently doing this intersection. You could include your curb into it and however you wanna phrase that.
Yeah.
Or you can do it, contract it yourself at a later date, as long as we have a timeline.
What's everyone's thoughts?
I mean, I think you need to put a deadline in there.
Yeah, you'd have to put a deadline on it.
I mean, you can't just, I don't think you can just say a later date. On or before whatever date the council chooses.
if they do choose to do it at a later time, will that disrupt the stuff what we've already done? Will they have to tear off a little bit here to fix what they're gonna do?
Can you answer that at all? Is it gonna affect anything we're doing right now?
Brock didn't look like it would. I mean, like you said, it'd be easier to do it now, but he's already started.
With the slope and everything else, is everything gonna pour just right? I mean, you gotta think about all that stuff too. Well, we just do it here, but we didn't do anything over here, so now we just got a water duck pond, 'cause we didn't fix it right.
have the other side
Yeah.
of this is that, we're starting this project and they didn't get any kind of prior notification, so I think you gotta at least give them the opportunity to, here's my
Well,
timeline.
Yeah, I tend to fall on being a softie, and I would say, look at it a case-by-case basis, cause if it was, say that covers mine, charge me. I'm young, I'm working, I could figure out a way to make it work. I mean, that's what I signed up for when I bought the place. I mean, you got a 86-year-old woman living there, I might have a different answer for you. So, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, I'd like to see it be a case-by-case.
Yeah, if
type of
you've got
thing.
a person that's strictly social security, they're not gonna be able to afford it.
Thank y'all for not disagreeing with me when I said I'm young.
I thought you were doing a different scenario.
I'll pause it so you can throw something at her.
The other one was about the property.
Oh,
Oh, 703 South Francis.
yeah,
Oh,
what?
no, that's a different one.
Yeah, but I mean, he's right.
703 South Francis. As far as,
Have them served by the sheriff and summoned to court. They've refused to pick it up twice. We've tried. They have refused.
Yeah.
It's come back. Wait till we get it back
is
in the
there a
mail.
time frame? What are we asking on that one? I mean, we just set it for court and,
Curious what our options are.
what our options are.
Hmm?
What our options are. Let the council approve to send them a summons.
Yeah,
But we've sent it, and them refusing to sign for it,
No, you go through Cody and have the sheriff in their county serve them.
serve them.
Serve them with a summons.
I say let's move that option.
So it would be set for
May 21st.
Okay.
And we're far enough out from that it shouldn't be an issue. I mean, as long as the sheriff's office gets on it and does it.
So you'll get that.
You want me to do a
Do you do
complaint
the
and summons? I mean, if it's a property cleanup thing, it doesn't come from me. But I mean, I can do it.
How,
Well, we've talked twofold, the property cleanup and condemnation, which we've talked twofold on that property. So if it comes from City Hall, then you just need to get the letter, well,
Well, but it
That
wouldn't
would
be a
be
letter. I mean, it would just be the citation with the summons.
so
which
how,
comes from Cody.
yeah, well, how does that work though? Because, on the property cleanup, they mailed it.
Right.
The one that was out of town, they mailed it.
Right.
So that was included in my list when you guys directed me at that one council meeting, I sent an email to the sheriff's department, so maybe to be sure we're on the same page, so I would send an email to Cassie saying the council would like a citation issued to such and such. But when they did that, for the Jackson Street property, they mailed that. I don't know if they mailed it certified return receipt, but are you saying,
No, they
But I
need to
should-
contact the sheriff's office. It needs to be personally served. There needs to be a deputy
And I've talked
that
with Cody,
either
he said
knocks on the door or
after
posts it on the
meeting
door.
tonight, that
that we
he
want?
will reach out to that county to see
Okay.
if it, he said in the state of Kansas, it doesn't cost municipalities to serve papers. So
Right.
like if you went to another town in Kansas,
Right.
it would be no charge. But he said Nebraska charges, so he doesn't know what Oklahoma does. So if that's the route we wanna go, then
There would be a charge.
he will reach out to them and see. So I'm just,
So my confusion is, are we drafting a letter that they will send to the sheriff's department down there, or, I'm confused on what we're doing here, because the
No, we've
last
tried.
time
We've tried with a letter twice,
I understand
and it's
that.
been sent certified mail return receipt requested, and they've refused service on it.
I
So
understand that, Lauren, last time they wrote a ticket out of their book and mailed that.
right, they are not to do that. That's what Amanda's saying. She talked to Cody. They are to write a citation. They are to mail it to the sheriff's office down there.
That makes sense to
The
me now,
sheriff
thank
will
you.
serve it, personally serve it, and then provide us a return of service. So that way, in the event that they don't show up for court, we have that return of service stating that they are essentially in contempt of their summons.
Okay, I didn't understand that piece, that they were writing the ticket
But
here
here's
and
my
they were
question.
working it
But
out.
here's my question, if the sheriff's department, wouldn't they have the same citation that they could just do via email? And print it off and then go serve it?
I don't know how, that's between, that's
Only-
outside of
Yeah.
my,
I mean, it,
Then to stick it in the
snail
mail.
mail, I mean, why are you doing
I
some
think
snail
it's
mail when
only
you could
if-
just have office,
I think
just
only,
talk?
only if they're reciprocal, I think.
Okay. I don't know, I mean,
But we're reciprocal with Oklahoma, with most everything.
Cody will know.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Alright,
mean,
so I'll reach out to Cody on 703 South Francis.
We're not reciprocal with Colorado.
That's probably a good thing.
Is that
And then
everything?
the condemnation, that's a whole separate.
That's a whole separate thing.
that's a whole, but that's a whole separate thing, and that's, I mean, I guess that's a point of somebody, I mean, if they appear in court, somebody from the governing body can be here and state, in addition to this, it looks like the property may need to be condemned, the doors are open, it looks like there may be critters,
Trees
the
falling
weather,
down.
weather getting to it, that's not a condemnable thing, but, I mean, unless it's fallen into the house, it's not a condemnable thing, it's just a property cleanup.
Falling in an electrical line,
Sorry?
falling in an electrical line.
That doesn't render the house not able to be lived in. That's still a property cleanup issue. Condemnation is the house is unfit for human habitation. That's what a condemnation is.
Yes, I know what that means.
Huh?
I know what that means.
I know, but you, I mean, you
can't.
can't, you're saying condemnation, the tree's falling on power lines, that's not condemnation.
For how long, this condemnation thing, but we still don't know, is it livable, is it not
Right,
livable?
which is what I'm saying, that a member of the governing body would need to be at the court then to speak with them, because you've otherwise been unable to make contact, to state, you need to do this because of these things, there are these factors, so we are either going to attempt to proceed with condemnation, and then it will be on them to fight it, or you need to let us into the house so we can examine it. That's where I'm going with this, is that a member of the governing body is going to need to come at 1:30 on May 21st to be here, whether they appear via phone or via Zoom, so that way we have record of making contact with them and letting them know that because of these problems, we are going to go, we are considering condemnation. Your chance to prevent us from condemning this property is to allow us, or to coordinate for us to have access to it. And if they don't do that, then they have been warned, and we have documentation that they have been warned that they are, and then we can proceed with the condemnation.
The bottom line, you have to have permission before you can even go in.
You have to have permission to enter the property.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to have, like with the tree falling on the power line, you don't have to have permission to go onto it if there's like an emergent situation or things like that, then the city can go onto it, but the city cannot actually go into the house to check the status of it without
Right.
authorization, otherwise it's trespass.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get with Cody on that one.
What else?
Is that it? Do we want to send a letter to everybody
I think we ought to do that letter on the curb and gutter, something, just
from City Hall? We can come up with something for that work.
something nice that says, you know, we need this done, but we need it done by this date.
Does the council want to choose a date? I mean, that's not an arbitrary
Deadline
thing.
on it.
Yeah, but I mean, you, before Jen or Jamie can type it and send it, you guys need, they can't impose a date.
Right.
Yeah.
It's up to the council. So I mean, if you're instructing them to do that, you need to select a date before they can send that letter. So if you're wanting them to do that within the next 2 weeks, you need to select a deadline right now.
6 months.
6 months is reasonable.
Or at least come and present why you can't do it.
Yeah.
That's one
Or
thing,
Yeah, we can
include
just
that.
say,
that's the thing, is
have
that-
it
that's what
done
makes me mad,
in
is like,
6 months, or,
you don't
come
get to
to
say,
city
well, I'm not gonna do
council.
that,
yeah.
why?
The other thing, Lauren, was 4 months on the property cleanup,
Okay.
4 months
Okay,
timeframe.
okay.
Cause I think the building permit we thought said August, so.
I mean, it's not gonna be, that's not gonna be in anything that I'm going to be drafting, it's just going to be
But
explained.
that was the other thing, I was like, I know there's
Yes,
something
yes,
else.
yes, yes.
That was
That's
the
not gonna
other
be,
thing
that's
like-
not gonna be in anything I'm drafting,
That
but
was-
I will
I'm
let them,
checking
I
that
will
off
let
my
them
list,
know
yeah.
when they sign it, that if they do not complete that within 4 months, that it will be happening again, and because it's happening for a second time within a 12-month period, then it is going to be $50 a day rather than 25.
All right,
And I mean, and hopefully we can get that taken care of, because I mean, I think everybody's, my goal when we do property cleanup in court is to alleviate the issue, not try and increase fees and fines. I mean, we want it cleaned up. And then the other property, you said it was okay because the gate is there,
they've got it, yeah.
so it's compliant, at least
Mhm.
satisfactory for.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Council comments, Bud. David?
I just wanted, bring it, something to your attention, do we have anything going on the Bench Hill Sunday? The reason why I'm asking, because Pastor Lockhart's putting together this, all pastors, all churches, gathering to pray for rain, and from the looks of it, there's singers and stuff, and so I don't know if we have electricity we're providing or what, and I don't think anyone's asked, and so do we need to find this out tomorrow? And
Mindout,
Lindsay wanted to do it?
Sunday.
it's like 4:30 in the afternoon on Sunday.
So I think in the past, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes people have organized this and just done it. With that being said, there's no accessible electricity, and so if you know someone that might be in town on Sunday that would have a key, that could go down there, that might, I'm just saying.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll find out, and I'll let you know in the morning.
You can check a key out from City Hall. We trust you.
Okay.
Cause we know where to find you to get it back.
But you have to clean up while you're there.
Okay.
Larry, do you have anything?
I don't know.
Randy? Justin? I just will mention that Michael Baxter, I think will be here at the next meeting. He's trying to work, he will for sure call in, but if he's leaning towards, he'll be up in the area that he can just make it to where he can, come in.
That would be great.
And then I will not be here at the next meeting, so.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Dump that in my lap.
Well,
Do I have to have
and-
2 week notice?
Wait a minute. Let's check here.
Yeah, no, your stuff.
I know.
Just,
The, one other thing that I have.
On the 7th, right?
Mhm. One other thing that I have with the, power line issue yesterday, it, did some damage to Dan's glasses, and I don't know if he would look to get some new ones, if the city would pay to repair his glasses since they took a hit.
I just put new lenses in for the, like 3 months ago.
Scratch them up.
None of the sparks work.
Ooh.
So I mean, I got pits in them, but they're not terrible, but they're not
I'm
great.
fine. I'm fine with doing that.
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
okay with that, yeah.
Glad you had glasses on.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Last time I was wearing safety glasses, but it still got in my eyes. So this ain't the first time.
And it didn't singe too much hair, I don't think.
What happened to this? I didn't hear.
the secondary line up by 703 South Francis, the tree pulled the line down and he was,
They ripped the top of the pole, half the pole off, and tried to put it somewhere else.
I've got video from my shop of wires and telephone right straight across, somewhere over, I forget where it's at, but it just lit up my cameras.
Probably over by Trent Riley's.
yeah.
That's where Prairie Land had to go work.
Anyways, that's all. Recodification.
I've got one
Oh,
quick
yeah,
thing before I
okay,
forget
no,
about it.
you're already
Just
done.
backing up to Janet Carmen and what she's talking about. I think what she's asking is that if we can use any of the, a donation to this project from the visitors fund, the,
Yes, Dax.
guest tax, thank you. So, I think that's where she's wanting to go with this. She was just asking if there's a possibility the city would be willing to help pitch in on that project. So, just so everybody knows.
Use for it.
Recodification.
If anybody get it.
What?
I actually had a dream about this week conversation.
Did you? When you were right here?
Nightmare.
Yeah. So what chapter? Chapter
15.
14. We're
Or-
doing 14?
I have that we've done 14.
Okay. I'm just trying to find.
I have that
15 utilities.
we've done 14, which was David.
Oh, what was? Lila and I just had the conversation this afternoon. About something we needed to change in the first chapter. Which was one of yours, right, Justin? I remember there was something.
It was about the salaries by ordinance.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
I knew we talked about it in the office back here.
Yes, and we had talked about it before, and then when we got to recodification, that first workshop, and I'm like, I can't remember what, I knew there was something, so. Can you put that in your notes?
That is a very vague thing to put in my notes. What do you want me to change?
So the salaries are set by resolution or ordinance, and like, so like the city clerk, right?
It,
Any
Appointed.
Any
position.
appointed position, so anytime we would do a wage thing, we would have to technically modify an ordinance, correct? If it's set by ordinance,
You know what salary is?
well, because if it's set, you put in a certain amount in the ordinance, so if you're changing it.
And I know she talked about like the clerk, assistant, city clerk, treasurer, superintendent for the employees, because those are typically annual raises. But then like you guys' salaries, I believe the
They're set.
judge and the attorney, they're also set by ordinance.
Hmm.
So I don't know how, I don't know
Guess I
if
didn't
you
realize you had
addressed,
to
we
make-
only talked about like the appointed employee
Yeah.
side of it, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I just wanted to.
And then we were
clarify.
gonna look up to see what the rules are for everybody else. And then we still were having some trouble finding the actual ordinance for a couple of things.
Yeah.
She doesn't know if it's just so old that she's not sure, so we're gonna look for
Lila
that.
said it's never been done since she's been here.
Yeah,
I don't ever remember any since I was, which I came on the same time that
Yeah,
Lila did, so.
I think that's just always been done, you know, raises have been done and it just carries on.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so she wanted to know if it was even, if it just needed to be removed from the code, or if it's
Right.
required.
And maybe we need to look into see if it's required by statute or something to put that you would have to do that.
In chapter 1?
I
I
don't
thought it was
see
in
what that.
chapter 1.
Right.
In administration, right, isn't that chapter?
Don't have anything in there for that. I only see when I do control F for find, I only find salary in 3 places, and none of it talks about setting the salary by ordinance.
I don't see that either.
You guys pull that off. So,
Oh, under compensation, not salary. Compensation says that it may be fixed by ordinance, not that it shall be fixed by ordinance. So I mean, I don't know that it's
Or maybe that's been changed.
required.
Under officers and employees, is that where you're looking?
I'm looking at, oh, no, hold on.
Night watchman, appointment, control restrictions and duties.
There's a
That's under
lot.
officers and employees. Appointment, employees, remove vacancy, city clerk, same fiscal.
I'm not seeing under officers and employees. The only thing I see under compensation for employees is 1-308, which states the city clerk is designated as the withholding agent of the city for the purposes of the Federal Revenue (Income Act) and shall perform the duties required of withholding agents by said act or any other act requiring withholding from the compensation of any city officer or employee. The clerk shall perform such other duties as may be prescribed by the governing body or the Kansas statutes, but I'm not seeing anything for compensation of the.
Okay, well,
I mean, I'll note that that's what you. I'll note that you don't want
we
it to
can,
be set by ordinance unless it absolutely has to be, but I'm not seeing that it's. I'm not finding it.
okay. Okay, we can double check, cause I thought,
Yeah, if you find it, let me know,
yeah.
cause I'm not seeing it, and I'm.
That was for sure. Okay. 15, bud. You're up.
Well, I've read it so many times I've lost track of where I read it. On 15.1, I got, the internet service. I don't know if we have that anymore, or do we? Or does it still?
Can you
need
give
to
me
be
a?
there?
Can you give me a section number?
Oh, 15-102. And 15-101.
What are you asking?
Well, I know the city owned the internet for a long time. And I'm just asking, does that still need to be in there? Do we still own an internet, or does it even need to be there anymore?
I mean, if we
I'm
don't.
just needing,
Yeah, no, right. I mean, it says it shall.
It says delinquent, so,
Yeah, but 15-101 says that utility services shall include water, electrical, sewer, solid waste, internet service, and other utility services provided by the city, and so it's including internet in that. So if the city doesn't provide internet, that needs to come out.
yeah,
okay,
I'm assuming the city does not provide internet.
no.
Okay.
we haven't
yeah.
provided
I didn't think they did, that's why I said it just something needed to come out.
Okay, give me 1 second to make those notes on both of these, if you would please.
Was that AOL?
No, actually, that was probably when the city was providing internet service
Mm-hmm,
back in 2004 or 5 when I was installing it.
yeah.
Okay.
15102A that doesn't have the ordinance recodification. So I pointed that out before. How it has in parentheses what sets that section, it's missing.
Okay. Is that in the book? I'll check if it's in the book. I'll check. I can do that.
That's it.
Huh?
On the print copy.
It
Oh,
is.
it's in this one?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming if it's not in there, it wasn't on this,
Okay.
the drafts.
Okay. What do you got next, bud?
Well, I was looking at this landlord liability versus, a renter's liability. on the utility bills. And,
Can you give me a section number?
well, I'm looking at 15106.
Okay,
I think I'm on the right one.
okay.
But if the city charges a renter a deposit, should not be the renter's responsibility for the utilities? That should take it away from the land, or the landowner. I feel that it should be the landowner's already doing the responsibility of renting, but that, he shouldn't be responsible for the utilities if there's a deposit paid to the city for
Okay, so if
that.
there's a deposit and it doesn't cover the amount that's owed, and they evict them and they get a new renter in, and there's still an outstanding bill for $200, does the city have to eat that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why should the owner, I'm going a little more by personal experience. Why should the owner also eat it? So I'm
Why
not
should
sure,
this-
I don't
wha-
know, I
wha-
don't know who's right.
Right. I mean, I guess the counter to that, in the capacity of an elected city official, is why should the city eat that cost, and why should the taxpayers bear that burden?
Jen's got some input on it too.
Hey Bud, I don't have my paper, so I'll apologize. Does it talk about a deposit in there? Or were you just using the deposit as an example?
I'm sorry, it does have a deposit in here in another section.
Okay, so we no longer collect deposits. Several years ago, we went to a non-refundable connection fee of $50. So now we don't even, we get $50, and it's a non-refundable connection fee. So we don't have a deposit on file. Now, I will say, with that being said, I have had some people ask if they're gonna be responsible for their tenant's utility bills, but I know it's in our code, so
Okay.
I know that's been,
Because-
I
yeah,
think that's been
because-
debated several times
yeah,
over the
there-
years.
Here somewhere, I don't know exactly, but
But
there is a deposit stated in here, so we need to
Okay.
we need to find it and
Sure.
change it.
Exactly, cause several years ago, we did go to a non-refundable connection fee.
Okay,
Yep.
that needs to be changed. I don't know where it's at, but it's here.
Perfect.
I know we've went over a couple of times, a couple situations here about, the charges. Late charges, this is showing 1069, is that still correct?
No, it's been $20 plus tax for quite some time.
15-106A.
I'll just see.
We've got customers that have not paid at noon on the 16th, a late charge of $10.69. And then there's, page 15-9.
Jen, how much is it?
Uh,
How much is the late charge?
So I don't know how you wanna put it in there, so it should say probably like $20 plus tax. I'm gonna guess this 1069, I don't know where they got that, if that's in this, and then there wasn't an updated ordinance. So it used to be $10, I'm sure 69 cents was tax.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so that leads me to another question, and I'm sorry, but under the same 106A under F, says after the 26th, if the customer wants to reconnect services, payment must be made for the entire bill plus the reconnection charge of $25 plus tax. Is it still just $25?
No, hang on, let me just.
I haven't got to that one, cause I'm still,
Yeah, you got me thinking.
I got same thing on 2 different pages, so I'm gonna go.
Let me compare these for just a second. the new book that says 15-106A utility billing procedure, is that something that we added? Because in our old code book, we don't have a 106A. So that's confusing. I will tell you that we, several years ago, we quit doing that noon on the 16th because the due date was always the 15th. So if they don't pay by 5 PM on the 15th, that's when the late fee will be assessed. It is $20. And then David, yours was the question, section
Subsetting
F.
F.
So it's not the 26th, it's the 25th is shut off day. So on the 25th, okay, let me read this, on the 25th. So I'm gonna go back up to D, still under 15-106A. So this must be a new section that the guy added, or however that works. So on the 24th, the city workers place notices on the door notifying the customer that their utilities will be terminated on the 25th by 10 AM. If we know someone is out of town or in the hospital, or if they notify the office, we usually don't turn off the surfaces. Well, we aren't gonna know if people are out of town. We're small enough that sometimes we know that people have medical conditions, and so, and then on,
So where did this come from, this 15106A?
yeah, I'm pretty confused.
I don't know, I can go back and find it because it would have been flagged, I mean, it came from somewhere because it may have been somewhere else in our code. It might not be section for section, because when I went through, I mean, and mind you, this is 3.5 years ago, when I went through line by line, I flagged anything that was not in the code. So I can go digging back. Not this week, I can't, but I mean, I can go check and see where it came from, because it may have been in a different section in the book. It may have been elsewhere. I don't know. But if there was anything that wasn't, I mean, I went line by line, and if there was something that wasn't congruent with it, I flagged it. And so I'll have to go back and look and see where it's coming from, because I don't.
This same situation showing up on 15-222.
And it's not noted at the bottom, so it's not noted on 106A. It's not noting like where it would have been added in.
Right.
So I'm just gonna say, this whole section, I can either read you everything that's wrong, or we can figure out where it came from.
Let me see if I can figure out where it came from.
The
And
15-222 is much more in line with what she's talking about.
okay, hold on. 15-222.
Yep.
Is everything else up to that point good, bud?
Oh,
Except 15-216, utility deposit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that need to come out?
I knew.
Well, it references 15-105, so I'll have to look at 15-105.
And it does say on
Larry, you're referring to
15-110
what
and
Jen
the
said that we
$50
don't want
non-refundable.
the deposit.
But then on 116, it shows the deposit.
Right, but it says in accordance with 105. It doesn't say there is a deposit. So if 105 doesn't discuss a deposit,
105
So we-
discusses the-
we have to. I mean, just because it says deposit doesn't mean there is a deposit. We have to read it.
105 talks about the meter being accessible.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything about
Okay.
deposit.
Let me. Let me. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. I have a note to check where 206A came from, and then a note that no deposit is required. And I'll go back, I'll go back and see my original line by line comparison in the table I have. I just don't remember off the top. It was, I think, over 3 years ago that I did this, so.
Under 205.
205.
For putting, application for service, it says be signed by owner or occupant. Should not be the occupant have to get the owner's permission and have that on file?
What section are you on, Bud? I'm sorry.
205. 15205. That has been a topic of discussion for the last 4 years, so if the council wants to make a decision, that'd be great.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think great. Discuss amongst your, discuss amongst your.
Because I don't think an occupant should be allowed to do something unless the owner has approved it and has that on record for the city to know it. So that the city isn't doing it just as an occupant saying, okay, do it. And
Yes,
the
sir,
owner
but-
may not know it if the owner's out of town or out of state renter.
Is this like, are you saying if a landlord has a property and then someone just comes in and wants to get utilities?
Yeah,
We actually just implemented something. So in the last several months now, I have to get, the landlord has to sign a
okay.
form every time they get a new tenant.
Well, it doesn't show it here, so.
No,
Well, that's
and
because
that's
this
a
was-
pretty new, gosh, within what, the
Right.
last maybe 4 months? Well,
What property was that on?
actually, it's been since probably October because I was actually on vacation and had a landlord really upset. I had to call her the next week and we had to implement something because somebody modified a
Okay.
lease.
So, well, at least
So-
I brought, that's
With that
all right.
being said, I think it was a procedural change and I don't necessarily know,
Okay.
did we do a code change or did we consider that a procedural change?
I think we considered it a procedural, but
We've discussed it several times, and
we put a
I think.
Well, I mean-
procedure into place that.
right, we've discussed it several times, and I don't know if if it fell on, we'll change it when we recodify. Because if that's the,
And I think that's where we're at. I think we need to.
I understand that, so what I need to know is, am I changing it?
If you don't recodify it, then there's gonna be confusion, isn't it?
We either have to do it, or we have to, I think we have to,
I think we
because,
could put it
It's
in the
just
ordinance.
basically
I
stating
Yeah.
feel
that
like
the
it's a good
occupant
idea.
needs to have the owner's permission.
right, well, right, and that's,
It's a procedure, but we might as well put it in here.
right, but that's the thing, is if we're saying it has to be signed by, if we're saying it can be signed by the agent, or by the occupant, and we have another procedure, then it will, so I'm gonna make a note to, when I get to this section, get with you about what that procedure is.
Okay.
Do we have any procedure about utilities, like, in somebody else's name, like, updating that?
No?
Cause we had a situation with that as well, didn't we, where the utilities got shut off and the original owner had passed away, and so
Yes.
they couldn't get them turned on because we implemented this new policy, and I don't know how you go about.
We have a few accounts in town that just over the years, they've stayed in one person's name, but there's different people living there.
I'm an example.
And that did happen, I
We had an
did,
issue with it,
and,
so.
it
I-
also caused me some issues in the past few months, and so,
About that, October.
about the same time,
Maybe
yeah.
August, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm still worn out.
And so we don't really have a procedure, it's just, here's the problem, guys. Things aren't the same as they were 20 years ago when I started. Times have changed a lot, and 20 years ago, you knew who was supposed to be living where. And you don't know now, and then in the situation that Amanda's talking about. Utilities are in one person's name, and then if someone moves out and say that person's passed away, you're just out that money. I have a house right now that happened. A parent had, a child living there. The parent passed away and the child moved away and left a bill. It's not huge, but it's just always something, you know what I'm saying? It's just always been something we've done, cause it happens rarely, but now would be the time to address that if.
Well, I'm kind of an example of that because my utilities were in my mother-in-law's name, and I didn't want to pay the deposit that we no longer collect because I was paying it anyway, so why change anything?
And back then, the deposits were $200.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
that's
now
why I
it's
didn't.
now it's a $50 non-refundable connection fee. I feel like the council made it incredibly reasonable for people to get utilities. I don't know if you can push that. I mean, there are instances we know it's happening, but we've been stuck with bills before because an elderly parent's passed away and then, so I've seen that. Cause then I have no recourse to. Cause then their argument will be, well, it's not mine.
I don't know how you address that.
Good to go. 15219.
You know it?
It's a little trivial, but to me,
Which one?
219, it's a little trivial, probably not worth it, but I'm gonna say it. It's wasting water, watching it run down the curb and gutter right out of the yards with the sprinklers running. That's just something, one of my pet peeves, watching it run down. And it says that they shall keep the the hydrants and everything in, good working order for not wasting water, but it doesn't say anything about letting it run down the street. That's totally just more my say than anything. But then on 221, again, the rates,
I already have a note in here to get with Jen on this. Like I said, this was
Okay.
done. When the city originally decided to recodify, it was like 2022, and so there have been, I'm sure, changes since then.
In 221, Bud, we just recently, I think in December or so, are you talking about the meter rate?
yeah,
Yep, so, because this recodification is so old, so that's why you won't see that in there, but all of that should get incorporated when we get this to the
Okay.
guys. So, yep, I think you're going down the right path there,
I'm
questioning
just,
it, but,
I'm.
No,
for
yep,
sure,
100%.
Yeah.
for sure. Yep, it's good to catch that and ask.
Something that caught my attention back a few years ago, I had poles and things tore down at my shop. When I lost all, that semi took down 7 poles and took out the motel's trailer court and everything. This next one's on, what number is it? 221A. Whenever they were putting it back in, I understood from what they were telling me and what I'm reading, is for each one of their trailer courts, they had to have an independent meter.
That's what they chose. Are you
Is that
talking
what they
about over
chose?
at the
Because
home
I know a
center?
lot of places will have one master meter since it's a trailer court. And then the trailer court owns the other meters down there and they just bill, but the city just bills off the master.
No, Kathy and Johnny and I talked about that one time, and they chose to have separate meters there.
Okay, but
And
is
it
that,
works
but
well
is
for
that
them.
possible for, like, if I wanted to go put in a trailer court, I'd put in a master meter, and that's what I'd pay, but then I could turn them on and off when I wanted to. I didn't have to have the city come down and turn out a meter every time I had somebody come in and rent for the night.
Yep, and either way is an option, it's just a billing, how I will bill it would be different, so.
Okay, cause according to this, you'd have to have one in each, it'd be a separate one for each, it doesn't show that it can be separate. And my next question is, it states here that, I cannot resell, the electricity, which I've already asked about a couple of times before I got on the council, because I was putting in EV chargers. And that meant a resale of electricity, so somewhere in here, we need to be able to clarify that, yes, I can resell that.
Where are you reading right now?
But right now, I'm still on that, 221A.
And that talks about the resale?
Yeah, somewhere it does, right there. Well, maybe it's not on A, but it's in there. I read it.
Well, here's the thing, I'm not sure, you would just be charging for them to plug into your, like let's say an
Right.
EV charger?
Right, mm-hmm.
That,
Some cities will not allow, or not cities, some utilities won't allow you to resell that power. You have to go to them and get a special deal to do it. And what I saw here, and I did see it somewhere, like that other page, it's here.
sure, and when you get there, we can talk about that. So, up here, I think it's just saying that each apartment will have its own meter charge, and whether an electrical meter and or water meter shall be installed or not installed, each apartment, while occupied, shall be required to pay the minimum if the occupants of such apartment use city and current water. So basically, each apartment, even if it's a building with one meter, each apartment's gonna pay that meter charge. And then maybe the landlord's paying the whole electric bill, I believe is what 221A is saying. So it doesn't necessarily have to have its own meter.
I gotta find where that other one was. I missed it. I know I marked it, but anyway. There it is, I think.
Section?
Let me see if it's it. Yeah, 15-303. In no case shall electrical current be furnished to more than one family or more than one institution or business industry through one meter. That's what I'm talking about there, through one meter. So in other words, like a trailer court would have one meter, but you can't charge more than one other place. I don't know how to explain it. And it's unlawful for a customer of St. Francis Light and Water Department to resell city current received through any meter or otherwise. That's what I'm talking about. And that would prohibit me from using or selling or charging EV cars, technically.
That's above me to, I see what you're
Question,
saying though.
what's the EV charger hooked up, what's the EV charger, where's it getting its source?
Through my shop, off my meter.
So then is your scenario that you would meter each one of those separately?
It actually meters every car as you go, and you bill them for that electricity.
I don't know would that be considered reselling it, or would that be him getting reimbursement for the power that he's buying from us?
See, that's why I'm asking this question, because this came up in another seminar I was at with EV chargers.
Sure.
And,
But if that's connected to his meter, he's still gonna be paying the city.
yeah, I'll be paying city, but according to this, I can't.
Are you
resell
selling it for the exact same rate that the city is?
No, you make a profit on it. That's the whole idea of having an EV charger, is to make a profit.
So that, maybe that's what it's talking about. If we're charging you 12.25 cents and then you turn around and sell it for 15 cents or 20, maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Reselling, I don't know.
But you've gotta be able to make a profit on it, or you're not gonna put in a $50,000 or $75,000 charger.
Well, in all honesty, EV chargers weren't even thought of back when this was,
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think you'd put an exception in there then to change the code, just so you don't have anybody.
Take into account the EV chargers.
but this is
Okay,
something.
so what I need now is the council to come up with a decision on what they're gonna do about the EV chargers, and Bud cannot weigh in on it because Bud has a conflict of interest. So Bud needs to not discuss
Yeah, we
this.
just look
and
and
then the
see if
council-
somebody else has it in their ordinance.
Okay.
Can we just
Do you
look
wanna
at it on
put
the
a, can you put a link out, or can you put a,
And see if anybody in their code has anything about EV chargers and.
because Robert never sold his.
I brought this much more up for the motel
Yeah.
situation than I did
Yeah.
for me, but that also.
right, but I mean, we still have to,
24/7, they have
Well, there's two of them.
I don't know.
There's the holiday.
I mean,
But yeah.
I get it, and I 100% get where you're going with it, and I know why you're bringing it up, and I think it's a very good point, but because you have a business which is interested, you can't,
What
Yeah.
originally started me was the motel, so why couldn't they
Yeah.
put that in there and actually charge,
right.
they're gonna charge $30 per night for electricity, which is more than they're gonna pay for the city, so they're actually technically making money on it. So, you know, consequently,
Is it,
they're reselling power.
right, but I mean, are they charging $30 a night
Yeah.
for electricity and a spot, or are they charging spot fee
A lot
plus
of-
30?
A lot of campsites, which I just checked on, they'll sell you, or they'll rent you a campsite with or without electricity. Without is a certain amount. With electricity, most of them spend $30 a night for electricity. So, which is way more than they're gonna pay for it, so consequently, it's showing that they're making money on it.
I'm just gonna make a note that you're gonna check into the city clerk.
And it's a whole, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
it's a
spoke with, I mean, it's a wheel with so many spokes because, okay, so he has an EV charger. Now you have people who are driving to St. Francis who probably otherwise wouldn't drive to St. Francis.
Yeah.
They're gonna spend 20 to 30 minutes here, so they're gonna go into Majestic, they're gonna buy things, they're gonna spend money, pay tax money here. It's just a lot of variables with this, so.
Hey Bud, I'm gonna ask everybody to skip back to 15.2.22. And, Lauren, if you'll read that accurately describes our late fees and the shut-off stuff.
Yeah.
Right, that's-
I
I'm just
brought that one
referencing
up.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
good.
what Bud brought up with the,
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear all that, so.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I've got page.
I think you were
13.
going and grabbing yours while he said that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got, look at my page
Yep.
15.3.
Yep, yep, yep,
Okay.
alright.
15407A, specifications. Are you still allowing cast iron and lead solder and I know this being trivial again, but it's here. For your, water lines, sewer lines, I think we're pretty much all plastic anymore. And I don't know how much of that you wanna leave in or take out.
That should probably address the newest books on that, the building, whatever code book that's in. It's probably
This is
specified
talking
in
about clay
those
pipes and, cast iron pipes. I don't even know if that
Order after tomorrow,
Finally, yeah.
maybe not till Wednesday.
is relevant or not,
Yeah,
but that's what, why I'm bringing it up.
So what does the council wanna do?
we don't have the newest code books.
I'm trying to
yet,
think
though,
what the
we?
code book is.
Do you want,
NS
right, but I mean, I can put it, I mean, is someone going to read through that entire code book to get what the materials have to be, or do you want me to put in a sentence that says it has to be in conformance with the code books pursuant to chapter
That would be-
whatever?
That would be the way that I would do it, simply because going to, you're covered.
Okay. Is everybody, is the whole council?
This talks about plastic pipe.
Yeah,
I mean, it talks about
it
the
has
different
plastic
ones,
pipe in it,
and it has to be approved by the council, so I don't know why.
yeah. But on 15407A, just under G, you've got,
Just under G, okay.
that's where you've got your cast iron pipe with lead joints. I don't even think you're legally allowed to use lead anymore. Shall be firmly packed with, whatever that is, and, or hemp and filled. And I'm not sure if we really need all that in there, cause I don't even think it's legal to use anymore.
Dan, you know what Orangeburg pipe is?
I know what it looks like.
Just
Just have
trying to bring it
replace
up to
that
date.
the
Yeah,
alley.
no, that's fine, so I mean, I guess does council want me to just take a stab at revising this to the best of my ability with references to the
Well, I mean, there's still cast iron and lead stuff out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, it's-
I mean, that's
but
just telling you.
This is for installing new. And you're not allowed to use lead or anything anymore. Not that I know of, anyway.
Well, and if you're replacing, it's new.
Yeah.
And you can't go back.
Yeah.
I don't even know anybody, I remember putting in being a plumber's helper and helping with that exact stuff.
Really?
Yeah, oh God, it was awful.
It's been 30 years since I used it.
It was awful, yeah. They could probably just be taken out.
It needs to be taken out or added, whichever.
okay, give me a second to type a comment.
Okay. Alright, just a little trivial deal here on 15422. I've noticed a couple of houses in town doing it, but I think it's just more trivial than anything. Having house runoff onto a dirt road, off the roofs, going into the dirt road. It says here you can't do it, but again, that's more trivial. This is back on the, who has the utility bill, the homeowner or the occupant. And I'm not even gonna worry about that. Oh, and that one I found out, that's corrected, so. This was something that was brought up and doesn't need to be changed, but there was something brought up on trash truck being able to go on private property or not. And, this says that they can go on to private property, and I thought that's been brought up by a couple of people.
What,
And
what, section are you in, Bud? 15?
507.
507. And, not that it needs to be changed, but I do know I've had, over the last year, I know it's been brought up that people complain they don't want city trash truck on their property, well, they can go on the property to get their trash.
No owner or occupant shall permit to accumulate quantities of refuse. And it's legalese, I mean, yeah.
Is there a question?
No, that
No,
was just,
for David.
oh, sorry.
No, it's just worth something to read, but I think it's fine.
Okay.
That's again on the property owner. Some of these are repeats, and I flagged them anyway. That's it,
Okay.
that's all I have.
15.
On 15,
Okay, give me 1 second to.
unless somebody else had something, that's all I can find.
Okay, 16. Is everybody good to go to 16?
There's not a whole lot on 16 that I can talk about, because most of it is just talking about property sections and except on 16202, use districts or zone, it only shows 3. It does not show an industrial park, which is what I'm in.
The industrial park is part of business. Industrial park is part of industry, which would be business.
Okay, so I didn't read that into that, so that's why I'm asking.
Right. Well, I mean, that's just because the legal descriptions. If you pull up a plat and get out a ruler and draw it, which I think Amanda and I have both done twice now. I'm sure you've done it more, but I've done it. I've done it with you twice.
Back here, it also says on the very next page that, and including the industrial park of the city of St. Francis, Kansas, and all of the
Where'd you find that?
CV and few railroad right of way.
I missed that. Oh,
Where you at, David?
16-4 at the bottom. The second from the last.
It's also on 16202 at the bottom.
I just missed it. Okay, I just missed it. See, I don't know. I think I had,
Do you see what I'm talking about, bud?
yep, I saw it. Yep, I just missed it when I was reading it.
And I'm sure with that many legal descriptions, your eyes were probably crossed by the time you got
Oh my
there.
gosh.
I would say the first.
We
one-
were rezoning something a while ago, and it was.
Yeah.
I had to like type a paragraph, walk away from it, print it out, read it with my office staff. I mean, it was.
Yeah. This was the chapter I remember when
This-
when I
the only
first
other-
got on city council in 2015 when we were recodified, I got something like this chapter.
And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't draw it out when we did this originally. I didn't draw it out. I just compared it.
It's been drawn out.
But I'm sure. I know. Well, and when we were modifying up there by, was it Western Auction?
Yes.
I mean, we drew it out again at that point. So, anything else, bud?
Well, one thing here, I think it's already been taken, I mean, we've already talked about it in 16209. It was brought up at one meeting, and I guess that's what this is, where the city council has final approval on all building permits. Which is, I marked it because I marked that before I got that.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, I'm good.
All right.
Alrighty. Now, are you good, Lauren?
Yes. I'm sorry. I had one. I guess I didn't. I should have said it during my returning report. I will not be here for the next meeting either.
Okay. ordinance 1109 that I forgot to find where I stuck it.
Am I good to go?
I think so. Not for sure, Colin. He was gonna picture Department of Yep. And then go to yeah. I got lost out there. Long week. Anybody have any questions on the bills? Anybody look at them?
I like getting that on the shirt, right, because it's all.
Well, I thought that's why. I thought the checks, I see,
It's always about the check. Well,
We just need somebody to,
yeah, I need a motion to approve.
so moved.
Moved by Randy,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Now. We have one, two executive sessions, two. Who wants to go first? I'm gonna go
I think I can do mine in 5. I just
Can
need-
you do it in two? You know,
Half.
10 minutes?
If I can do it fast.
See you, Sherry. See you, Lauren.
See ya.
Bye. We just need an executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel. for employment opportunity.
Who all do what in here?
Everybody's in agreement. Council one.
Moved by Larry to go into executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel for, what did you say?
5 minutes.
What was the subject matter?
Employment.
Non-elected personnel for employment for 5 minutes to resume at 9:55 with everybody in the big room. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by David. All in favor? I was reiterating it some,
Nice.
Jamie,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
good.
we're good. We're out of executive session, do I hear a motion to go back in for an additional 3 minutes, to continue on non-elected personnel for employment? Moved by
So,
Randy,
second.
second by David, alright, all in favor? We're out of executive session, no decisions were made.
Somebody else needs to make that motion.
Would you like to say what you're moving?
No? To recommend employees that you,
Hiring the recommended lifeguards at
Recommended wages.
recommended wage level.
It's been moved by Justin to hire the recommended lifeguards at the recommended wages. Is there a second to the motion?
Yes.
I think that was the second by David. All in favor? All right, Dan needs 8 minutes of executive session for,
Can you hand that to Jen, please?
non-elected personnel to discuss wages to come out at what? 10:12?
And if you do this to subject, I recommend that we buy you even a better pair of glasses than what we were gonna buy you.
Is there a motion?
Is this
Moved
just,
by Justin, second.
who's in the room?
Ev- Everybody?
I'm gonna step out, but I do need to catch you two to get signatures.
Everybody but Jen.
You need to catch me?
I got a motion by Justin, I'm waiting for a second.
Second.
Second by Larry, okay. We're out of executive session, no decisions were made. I do wanna call an additional executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel for wages with just the council. To resume at 10:17.
yes, so.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Larry, second by David, all in favor?
Something.
No, Bruce.
We're out of executive session, no decisions were made.
Put that on.
We just need to make a motion to approve.
The recommend, yeah.
I'll move that I'll make a motion motion that we approve the recommended wages for all the employees.
Moved by Larry,
Second.
second by David, all in favor? Motion to adjourn. Larry, David,
Thank you, Larry.
Justin.
Amanda and Larry.
No,